Good evening, people. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We've got 2 gifted memberships right off the bat. Toots gifted 5 memberships, and so did I'm Just a Girl in the World. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Fantastic, guys. All right, so I am insistent on enjoying this tonight, one way or the other. This is how I deal with things, okay? I fucking make lemonade out of lemons, folks. That's what I do. So what I'm gonna do tonight, which is why most of you are here, there is a live stream going on right now, I believe. Let me just mute that bullshit. And Krusty Panties, aka Kate Peter, is having a special guest on her channel tonight. And that special guest is our friend Sean McDonough, aka Sean on the Golf, aka El Jefe. El Jefe. And I want to be clear. I realize some people are thinking, oh man, Sean turned. Sean is this and Sean is that. And does Sean actually have quit? That's what people are asking. I don't know. I'm not here to find out that I'm not here to find out if that's the case. The fact of the matter is that we all know Krusty Panties all too well. And Krusty Panties, right now, Sean is in rare form. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's definitely in rare form, and he's definitely behaving out of sorts. And I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm saying it's out of sorts, something I'm not used to. And this is just my personal observation. I wouldn't presume to speak for any of you. So, but I'm a fair person. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But the thing is Krusty Panties, Kate Peter, she's beyond the benefit of the doubt. We're way past that, and I happen to know her all too well at this point, and to know her type, and to know what motivates her type, and what she's doing is just using Sean. That's her mindset of all this. She's not capable of doing anything kind. She's not capable of doing anything good. She's a shitty person. And whether Sean knows this or not, I don't know. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is I'm going to snipe her stream, and you can watch it here if you don't want to give her the views and you don't want to contribute to her attempt at using Sean for her own personal gain. So, again, I have not decided. You're free to your opinions here. You're not going to get, blocked or anything because you have your feelings about Sean. Sean brought that upon himself. I have nothing against what your opinions are about Sean. He did this to himself. This was all brought on by his own behavior. So, I just have not formed my personal opinion just yet. But I may or may not do so tonight. But without any further ado, here we go.
Mic ahead of time. Is it maybe is that better like that?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you just a little faint.
All right, I turned up the gain. How about now?
Now
that helps.
Oh my God, dude! Jesus fucking Christ! With
Sean, thanks for joining us. This is a
with the sound.
Very brave thing for you to do. I know we got a little bit of shit for this one.
And yes, I'm going to commentate through this, and I'm going to pause through
back
it
in the green room. I just wish
so
this
it won't be
June of 2023.
absolutely live.
Before I wrote that letter to Alina and Brian Alba, I sent the letter to Brian. I was a newbie back then. I didn't know shit from Shiola. Right. I wish this right here we could go back in time. But here we are, and I want to thank you, Kate, for extending the olive branch. Why can't we talk?
I know you caught some flack, and I think we talked. And I just want this to be open. I know you got your people, I got mine. Some of us are
Right?
some of us are meeting in the middle here for a little bit. So, my people, we'll ask you some questions, and it was the same can go for me. And we've agreed that we're just going to be honest, right, and open, and have a dialogue here, which I think is
Right.
great
I-
to do.
And I want my people to know, I already gave a message. You support me, be respectful. This is a moment that we can make some kind of headway, no matter what it.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry about that. Excuse me. See, that's where I disagree with Sean. He's saying something to the effect of, if you are disrespectful to Kate Peter, that's disrespectful to me. If you are here for me, be respectful to Kate Peter. I'm not going to be respectful to Kate Peter. I will never be respectful to Kate Peter. We're way past any chance of her getting any respect for me about anything. Everything that I happen to know for a fact about that she is responsible for means that I am, and she is unapologetic, and she does it daily to this day on Twitter. So we're way past that. So if Sean takes that as a form of disrespect to him, so be it. That's on him, not me. I am entitled to my feelings about Kate Peter, and I am entitled to express them how I feel fit to express them. She's a piece of shit. Period.
What it is, but to be on opposite sides, battling and battling. Listen, Rogie Rogue, he said it the other night in his first thing. Just want peace.
Mm-hmm.
Who would ever thought he would be like, kids, peace. I just want peace. I'm all for it.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Boomer, the other stuff's got to stop. I'm telling you. I mean,
Yep.
I'm talking about my side. It's
Yeah.
got to stop. It's got to stop. But
Yeah.
thank
So,
you, Kate.
did you see the other day that they found Brian Albert in a hospital cafeteria, for lack of a better word? There, we're screaming at him in a blowhorn. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I did see that.
I mean, come on. No, of course I don't agree with that.
Somebody help me in the chat here. Did that person, because I didn't see that video. All I saw was a video of her. I saw a video of Brian Albert sitting in a courtyard in a food court, but I didn't see anybody yelling through a bullhorn. Now, if that happened and I just didn't see that, it wasn't in the clip that I saw, then okay, that's fair, understandable. But I saw Brian Albert sitting in a food court, and that's it. I didn't see anyone yelling through it. She yelled through a bullhorn. She did in a mall. Okay, so she did. I feel bad for the people in that mall, but Brian Albert, he had that shit coming.
Can I make a public apology? I got two to make before I tell you, I'll start getting.
Wrong.
I don't get this out.
To make those apologies, Sean.
I'm going to steal a little play from Kevin Lenahan, and I want to publicly apologize for not being a man enough to stand up to that fool when he called Mrs. O'Keefe the C word day in, day out. And you know something? That's my bad, right? That's my bad. And I feel so bad that I didn't have enough cojones to step up. It's not that I didn't. It's just that I should have.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, the problem with that, okay, I'm going to really try to play devil's advocate here. Because again, I like Sean so far. But the problem with what he's saying here is he's saying this on this platform that he's on right now. Just Irish, thank you so much for being a member. Oh my fucking god, what is happening? Yeah, good point. Yeah, member for 7 months. Thank you. He's saying that on Krusty Panty's channel, and he's saying that, and he's trying to push this whole Turtle Boy is disrespectful to the O'Keefes. Okay. And he specified Peggy O'Keefe. Okay, fine. I mean, I know what he's trying to do there. Sean, I see you. But that's not my point that I'm trying to make here. The point I'm trying to make here is that he's trying to contribute to the idea that these people who he is buddying with here are actually empathetic towards John O'Keefe's family, while at the same time saying he believes Karen Read is innocent. See, Sean, you can't have that both ways, my man. This is why people are questioning your credibility at this point. Can't have both. Can't do it. Can't be done. Not realistically. Can't be done. You cannot sit here and say that you support the O'Keefes while aligning with these people who are trying to destroy Karen Read. Okay? You cannot do that because Karen Read is factually innocent. You repeatedly remind us all that you believe that Karen Read is innocent. And if Karen Read is innocent, then John O'Keefe is not getting justice. And these people support the very people who you believe are responsible for John O'Keefe's death. Cop killers. Sean. Cop killers. And you'll have to forgive me. I am getting a little pissed off.
Should have, because I didn't agree with that at all. And if Mrs. O'Keefe is what you remind me so much of my mother.
And guys, I will go over all of the super chats a little later. I promise.
You gave him the finger, and I'll tell you, my mother would have taken that little head off. No, and you know some. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And he said the other night, he's defending Mrs. O'Keefe. Well, Jesus Christ. She's a grieving mother. 2 children she's had to bury, and her son-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. I'm gonna call bullshit on me. And one more. Karen McCormick. I'm sorry. The hair, I have no problem with your hair. It's just like, okay. It's just one of those things. But I want to publicly apologize to Karen McCormick about your hair. I think it's beautiful. Just,
Has he forgotten that these people are that the O'Keefes are suing Karen Read, the Waterfall Bar and Grill? They did so as a dirty trick to try to get her to speak on the record for her criminal case by getting her deposed in a civil case. Does he not understand this? Because I know he does understand it. That's what's pissing me off.
Get it off your face a little bit. That's it. Right? That's it. Thank you, Kate. Oh, I'm serious.
Fair enough.
The family's gotten a lot of slack, and I mean, oh yeah, Lavish Love is clapping for you. Everybody's saying I still sound like
Jesus
junk.
Christ.
I hope that's not true.
I'm glad that I can barely understand her.
I appreciate, the O'Keefe family from my perspective anyways, and like they're normal people, right? And they didn't ask for any of this. They were not the ones banging the drums looking for media attention. They're a good, Irish Catholic family, right? That raised.
Now, okay. Now I'm going to say something pretty controversial here. I'm going to make 2 points. 1 point, controversial point number 1, play devil's advocate, I agree with Kate Peter in the sense that they did not ask for their loved one, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, to be killed. They did not ask for that. I definitely feel for them in that regard. Every single one of them. That's absolutely true. So I agree with Kate Peter in that regard. But she said generally they didn't ask for any of this. See, they did by filing a bullshit phony lawsuit, a bullshit lawsuit against Karen Reed, against the Waterfall, against CF McCarthy's. They did kind of ask for pushback. They should have known by Paul O'Keefe going on Boston 10 and being interviewed by Christina Rex, in the way that in the words that he chose to use in that interview, the path he chose to go down, he did kind of ask for it. He knew this was coming. He knew he was going to get criticism, because it's not just about justice for his brother anymore. It's about justice for his brother, and it's also about justice for Karen Reed and her family, because she's being falsely accused of a crime she didn't commit. Simple. I haven't forgotten why I'm here. Sean, what the fuck is going on?
Raised good kids and have endured an immense amount of, trauma and tragedy in their lifetime. And they didn't ask for any of this. This is not their world. And they just got dragged into this social media online bullshit, right? And they can't even walk into court with a little bit of peace and decorum and dignity at this point, right? Since this whole thing started, that was one of the first things.
Because they're walking into court in support of the unjust conviction of an innocent woman. That's why they're being criticized. It's that simple.
First things that was mobilized, and from my perspective, and correct me if I'm wrong, not only by Turtle Boy and Aiden Harney, but it would seem to me from everything I've seen that Karen Reed had a lot to do with it too. And I just wonder why. Why the family? At any point, when she's writing her social media comments or hugging her fans or, doing her press conferences on the steps, in my opinion, she could say, you know what? I love this man. I lost him. Please leave his family alone. And she's never done that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only way
I mean, whether...
Sorry, well, I'm sorry.
No problem. I was just going to say that whether you think Karen is guilty, whether you think Karen is innocent, I don't see the reason or the need or any ends that make sense to me to be disparaging the mother like that, like Mrs. O'Keefe. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You can believe what you want, but why?
Now, Turtle Boy emphatically denies giving the finger to or yelling at Mrs. O'Keefe. Now, we saw footage of her giving him the finger. I saw that, but I did not see. I saw people that were booing, supposedly, according to Turtle Boy and according to everyone that was there who have spoken up. They say that they were booing Carl Dougal. Carl Dougal was in that crowd. He was walking with them, and they were booing him. So he still denies this. And for Sean McDonough to not give Turtle Boy the benefit of the doubt speaks volumes to me, because this, again, screams something very personal between the two of them. Because the fact is, I mean, I don't know. It sure looks like people were booing the O'Keefes. It sure fucking does. I mean, I'm not going to lie. But once I hear an explanation where they're like, no, Carl Dougal was there and they were booing him, that does what? If I'm a juror and this is a trial, that creates doubt. I'm not going to convict Turtle Boy or the people, the supporters of Karen Reed standing outside of that courthouse. I'm not going to convict them of booing the O'Keefe family when they deny doing so and they have a perfectly good explanation. Now, whether I believe them or not is not the question. The question is, do I doubt that they absolutely were booing the O'Keefe family. Yes, I absolutely doubt that. Because I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing enough people at one time in one place that would absolutely just blatantly disrespect the O'Keefes like that. At least not back then. Maybe now. But at least not back then. And even still now, there's so many that I could point out that feel like that would still be very much below them. And that's the majority of the people that I interact with today. People who feel like that would be very much below them to boo and jeer at the O'Keefe family as they're walking into court. So I think it's insulting that Sean would not only entertain that, but perpetuate it. This is crazy to me.
I can only speak for myself. In any dealing I ever had with Karen, whether it was like Signal or whatever, she has never disparaged that family, ever. So, like I said, I don't
The
know.
problem with that is that Sean.
Oh,
is
we have more
text
people
messages
watching
that she
here.
sent to
Don't
Turtle
worry.
Boy through Natalie,
There
where
you
she
go.
says things like John's family sucks. Peg O'Keefe is the C word. F Paul O'Keefe, go after him. Like that seems to me
No,
to be somebody
that's
who's attacking them, encouraging
Yeah.
it, right?
okay. Well, listen, you guys, say you guys, right? I mean, you're close to ground zero, right? You got the inside track. I don't. I can only tell you from my perspective that in any of those dealings, as limited as it was, and I'm telling you, it was limited. Natalie gave the whole thing up to me, but it was limited. And listen, did I read everything? No. Maybe I missed it, but I can see here honestly to say,
Wait, what?
in any of those dealings, I never heard her say that. And did it not happen? It possibly could have happened. So in
Yeah.
her
Well, I
defense,
I'm happy
no,
that she heard
Oh.
the text messages that she sent.
like I said, I
The
don't know.
problem with that is that Sean is we see text messages that she sent to Turtle Boy through Natalie,
There
where
you
she
go.
says things like John's family sucks. Peg O'Keefe is the C word. F Paul O'Keefe, go after him. Like that seems to me
No,
to be somebody
that's
who's attacking them. Encourage.
So this is where Sean is probably I'm trying to picture Sean's train of thought right now. Looking at him, looking down, hearing Kate Peter say things that are clearly untrue because there's no evidence at all of this. And so he's trying to respectfully address the fact that I was in those Signal chats. I talked to Natalie. I didn't see Karen Reed saying anything of these anything like this about the O'Keefe family. So, and the problem is that there's still the possibility that Sean could go, you know what, this is a mistake and I'm out of here. But the problem is, this is exactly what we know her to be capable of. This is exactly what we know her to do. So just the fact that he agreed to go on there and then started the whole stream with like, I want peace with everyone. Well, I mean, sorry, dude, but I've heard you say this yourself. This is a war. This is a war for justice. Which side are you on? And if you don't want to fight, don't fight. You know what I mean? If it's too much for you, if the fight is too much, cool. Go enjoy your retirement. Hang out with your loved ones and go to the beach. You're in Florida. Enjoy the sun. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to be mad at you for that. But what the fuck is this?
Encouraging
Yeah.
it, right?
I missed it, but I can see here honestly to say, in any of those dealings, I never heard her say that. And did it not happen?
Yeah, fucking play
It
golf.
possibly could have happened. So
Yeah.
in her
But I do.
defense,
I
in her
can.
defense,
I'm happy to. I can back that up. I can definitely send
no,
you
I don't need it.
the messages.
Listen,
They're
I
part
don't
of
need it.
public record. Well, I'm not sure that they're
Sure.
public records per se yet, but obviously they are lumped into
Right.
to Turtle Boy's ongoing case. So I mean, they definitely are with the courts as well now. But like, yeah, I mean, we're not gonna. That's the sort of stuff that gives
And
me.
he's talking about Natalie as though she's credible in some way. Like we saw that Tully's interview with her became very public. We know the lies that she told. We know that she's full of shit. Tully's interview with her showed how full of shit she was. So why is Sean talking about this woman as an experienced law enforcement investigator? Why is he talking about Natalie as though she's credible in some way?
Our side sort of a bad taste in our mouth about this whole
Well,
thing. And I think
Yeah.
you and I talked beforehand a little bit about how you can kind of split the two issues, right? Like you can believe that Karen is innocent of the murder of John O'Keefe, which I mean, I suppose technically I believe she's innocent of murder because I believe that she is guilty of manslaughter. That's my own personal opinion. But you can believe that she's not responsible while still conceding that, this monster that she's created is gone too far. And that, I mean, it's looking more and more every day like she may be guilty of conspiracy to commit witness intimidation, right? Because a lot of people have actually witnessed that. Whereas whatever happened that morning, in front of 34 Fairview or in Stein, depending who you ask, I guess, although I strongly disagree with that, definitely
Right.
the stuff that's happened afterwards is, people have actually witnessed that. They, on one level or not, been part of it sometimes.
Right.
I know he saw
Yeah.
what
Like I
she
said,
said about
you have
that's also a good point. And Turtle Boy is making a good point in the chat here because I remember when Turtle Boy's mom passed, this woman, this was one of the, well, not even one of the first, but just, it wasn't even recent where she was showing how visceral she really is, how disgusting she is. Anybody who would say that about anybody's mother who just passed is, you know,
you have things that your fingers on the pulse. All right. I got banished pretty quickly for obvious reasons. I think, Kate, you know why.
Well, I
Because
don't actually understand. So, like, what do you feel comfortable explaining? Or
yeah, of course. Right.
okay,
All right. Ugh, all right. It goes back to the old OG days, right? Blanca Guzman, right? Listen, talk about a boomer. I'm a boomer. Facebook, say hi to my kids. I get thrown into this thing, justice for John O'Keefe and Karen Reed,
look at,
mass
she's
corruption.
not even
I said,
listening to
"Oh,
him.
Jesus, this is pretty good. I'm happy just doing my thing, doing little things, right? Writing a little letter to Helena, say, Helena, Jesus Christ. Right? What about these 17 things? I mean, seriously, I was being as honest as I could be. I did a letter to Brian Albert, didn't know anything. I didn't know anything, right? Nothing. So, dude, get in front of it. This is not looking good because the investigation, in my opinion, I think I'm only for formula. Kyle, I think Kyle's out there. I've been dying to talk to Kyle in a cop to cop way, no animosity. And I think I ruined it, obviously. But like yourself, Kate, I've been told things too, right? But listen, we just leave that there. But
let's
when I
put
wrote
a pin in that. Let's put a pin in that.
yeah, we could put yeah, because I think it should be explored. I do. Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like, you guys know me, okay? You guys know me. I have lines, but I also my lines are complicated. They're not just simple black and white lines, okay? Like Turtle Boy here is saying, I've called Peg a cunt. Guilty as charged. She brought the woman who lied and put me in jail with her to her son's murder case as a stunt. She can get fucked. See, here's the thing, is even though I won't call Peggy O'Keefe a cunt. I cannot blame Turtle Boy for having his feelings and expressing them the way that he sees fit to express them when things like this took place, because what he's stating in this comment here is 100% fact, because this happened. As a guest, fake victim was brought to the courthouse by the O'Keefes in order to be hurtful and weaponize her against Turtle Boy. That's a fact. That means that was a personal attack against him, an attempt to get him locked up in jail. And however he chooses to express his feelings about that is absolutely and totally fucking entitled. If he wants to call her a cunt and everything else under the sun, he has earned the right to do that, because he was personally attacked. His freedom has been attacked. It is constantly under attack, as a matter of fact. So why the fuck we're even here when it comes to Sean McDonough is beyond me. I don't understand this at all.
So I get into this group. There's a couple of people there. I'm down here in Naples. The last time I went up there,
Because I'll
say
tell
what
you
happened.
this. I'll tell you this. This might seem a little controversial, but the fact of the matter is, and I would be a fucking liar if I said otherwise, that if I was Turtle Boy, me having my personality, the kind of guy that I am, and I was going through what he was going through, and that happened with Peggy O'Keefe, I would call her a cunt too. Now, she hasn't done that to me. That's why I haven't called her a cunt. But if she did that same shit to me, yes, that merits being called a cunt. Sorry.
To sell my dad's home. He's down here in Naples. I go and meet my brother Barry. God be good to him. He's dead now. All right, we're living over there down by the by the hillside, which is amazing. Listen, it's amazing. And so sell the house, and I'm nobody in this thing. Nothing. I'm in the shadows with the Facebook group. I hadn't done the letter yet, and I leave, and that was it. So I get back, and I do the letter. And all of a sudden, Aiden asked me to come on his show. That was the time I came on. That was the last time. Because I don't know, a guy like that doesn't like to be threatened. I mean, not threatened. His turf to be threatened. Now, at the time, there was a lot of people in the admin group, Victoria, Blanca, some other people that I didn't even know. And someone said, you know, Karen Read is in this. I said, why? Why is she in this? She's a defendant in a murder investigation. Why is she in this? Slowly but surely, things started happening. And then Blanca makes me a mod. I don't know what a mod is. And then all of a sudden I turn around. I said, I'm admin. I said, Blanca, what's happening? She says, no, you take your time.
I got to say, he's got a mod. I'm not going to say that mod's name, but they've been getting on my fucking nerves. And I've been quiet about it. But he's got a mod, and they've been getting on my fucking nerves, like nonstop. Every time this person opens their fucking mouth, this person showed up in a fucking DM, tagged a shit ton of us in the fucking DM, and said the weirdest fucking shit I've ever heard anybody fucking propose. And I thought, who the fuck is this person? Like, I totally had fucking Longshanks vibes from fucking Braveheart. Straight up. Like, I was like, who is this person who feels as though I needed their advice? Like, I virtually wanted to throw her out a window. I was kind, but nobody else was speaking up in the group chat. I spoke up, and I was like, this is fucking weird, like, but I was nice. I was respectful. In my mind, I was like, this is fucking weird. But I was respectful and nobody else was saying anything. Nobody else was saying anything. And Turtle Boy was tagged in this. He was in the and as soon as the shit was really funny. Immediately I see this long message left by this person, and then I see Turtle Boy has left the chat. It just said Turtle Boy has left the chat. And so I was like, all right, I guess nobody anything, so I'm gonna say it and shut this down. And then I shut it down. And I thought, the balls on this person. But the creators who were tagged in that, they know what I'm talking about.
Time you'll learn. I said, learn what? I don't want this crap. So, anyways, but then there's 10 admins. 5 mods, 3 or 4 admins. They're all power, right? So
No,
my opinion is this: that
dude, the only power a mod in your chat has is timing people and hiding people and not being affected by chat being slowed down. Sometimes you have to slow the chat down. You guys have seen that. You've seen some of Turtle Boy's mods do it because he gets 4,000 or 5,000 people watching at a time. And so they'll, you'll see it'll say slow mode has been put on and you got to wait 30 seconds to chat. When you have a blue wrench, you don't have to have that. That's why I give creators wrenches in my chat, so that in case I have to do that, which rarely I ever have to, but in case I have to do that, they never have to worry about that. They're not subject to any type of YouTube censorship or anything like that. But that's all the power they have. That's not real power. Because worst case scenario, it can be fixed. I mean, anything they do, it's a pain in the ass, but it can be fixed. So I don't know what he's talking about.
What the reason why I got banned?
Dude, I've seen creators. I've seen creators like just piss in the wind and give everyone in their chat a wrench. I've seen that happen where they're just like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just going to give everybody a fucking wrench. That's how meaningless they are. And then because sometimes once in a while you get somebody who gets a wrench and then they act like they've been given the Thor of the hammer of Thor. They act like they've been given the fucking king's scepter. It's bizarre. And it's like, dude, it's a blue name. People will notice your comments a little more, sure, but sounds like street squirrel. Exactly. Like you're carrying fucking Zeus's thunderbolt. Get the fuck out of here. It's not power. Calm down.
On the outside, right? Is because Aiden was threatened. And listen, I'm 67 years old.
Oh, and they can drop
right?
links.
This is not enough.
And they can drop links.
Friend,
This
you
is
mean like
nothing yet.
jealous, right? Like
okay, oh Jesus Christ. Right. I gotta tell you.
Listen, he'll try to cop an order on you for literally nothing. Trust and believe me on this. So if you start going around saying that you made him feel threatened, he'll be like, "Yeah, I do." You never know. He's a vindictive motherfucker.
Now, yeah, there is some power, like again, like if you're just timing people out, you know what I mean? Like if you're just timing people out and you're, hiding people, like those are supporters. You can't just go around doing that. So Ron, if he took your wrench, it's probably because you were being a dick, like, and I know you, Ron, you can be a dick. So,
I mean, threatened in the way that I was going to take his little baby from him, right? The baby that I thought this guy put his hands in, went down hard, looking to getting evidence and doing this and doing lies. Listen, I learned a lot. I didn't know the big joke. I didn't know that Karen spoon-fed him everything. I didn't know that. Not at all until Natalie.
So
I
what?
believe that hook, line, and sinker. He told everyone.
He's long admitted that Karen Reed was a source. Hell, he admitted that when the Natalie fucking interview with Tully came out, he admitted that. What are you talking about?
I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Fine. I don't care. Right? Good job, Aiden. You're a puppy. You run with it. The problem is, I started doing things here. I went out with Kevin. I went out with Mike Crawford, right? And the perception, I believe, was get this mofo out of here, right? He may, I don't know, he may discover something. I don't know. All I wanted to know was, how did this happen? Okay, that's it. And that's what I'm saying. How did I get bounced
What are you
up?
talking
But
about?
like we all know, right? You know, I was whatever he said, whatever you quoted in your that post you did about me. You know, he said, "Oh, Karen doesn't know. He didn't put any stock into him. He thinks he's a blowhard, this, whatever." But and I told him, I said, "Well, I mustn't be that much of a blowhard when I'm being tasked to do special investigations, or I'm being asked to do this. Don't do this."
Okay.
And I said this the other day. There were more don't do's than do's. I said, "What the fuck's going on here?"
So
And I'll tell
Karen
you,
was telling you
I was
more
so-
what not
The
to do.
greatest thing that ever happened, and happened when Aiden and Nicky boy, took down the whole page. I sent it to you. I don't know if you got it, right?
See this
No.
comment right here.
Blanca,
I
I
have to
said-
comment on this comment right here. He's trying to take down the movement. I don't think Sean is that stupid to think that he can do that. Because I've heard him make the very same point that I'm about to make right now. And that very point is simple. This movement is not about any particular person. It's about the truth. There is an overwhelming amount of evidence that dictates the truth. And that truth being that Karen Reed is innocent of this crime. Karen Reed is not responsible for the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Simple. You can't change the truth. You can't change the evidence. You can't. That is what's driving all of us. Now, are we grateful to Turtle Boy for providing so much of this information that proves that Karen Reed is innocent? Absolutely, 100%. But this isn't the Turtle Boy movement. Nobody here thinks that it is. We're just very grateful and give him credit where credit is due. Simple. I support Turtle Boy. I support Turtle Boy because he has provided us with this information. And I support Turtle Boy because he did 2 months in jail. He did a 2-month stretch for me, for my freedom to sit up here and tell you how I feel. For me to have done a 9-hour live stream yesterday discussing how I feel about the political situation that was happening. Turtle Boy did 2 months in jail for my right to be able to do that, for your right to be able to give your comments in my chat about your feelings about these things and anything else you feel the need to express yourself about. For that, I will always be grateful. But this isn't about, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that he's making this about Turtle Boy is a lot. I'm seeing, and I bit my tongue on this for a while now, but him being on that channel right now kind of seals the deal. Him being on that channel, saying the things that he's saying right now, kind of seals the deal. And that deal being, do I think that he is saying these things because of his personal issues with Turtle Boy? The answer is yes. 100%. This is all about him and what his little issues are with Turtle Boy. That's it. And that right there, that petty little fucking childish, stupid bullshit lumps him right up with the very people that he's lumping himself up with right now, as far as I'm concerned. It's not Turtle Boy that influenced that to me. Hell, I haven't even, and this is no disrespect to him, but I kind of tune it out. When he talks about Sean, I kind of tune it out because I didn't want to be caught in the middle of that shit. You know, I didn't want to be, oh my God, whose side are you on? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not on anybody's side here. What I'm saying is I've been up here working my ass off to do something. I've been making such an effort to show my gratitude to the very people who have been showing me gratitude. And I can never feel like I never feel like I'm doing enough. And I carry that a lot, I'm not trying to like act like I'm, oh, poor me. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is that I do that and I'm proud to do it and I'm happy to do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to carry that with me and struggle with it. There are worse things to struggle with than wishing that you could show more gratitude to the people who fucking support you. So when I see him doing this, after I have said, you need to listen to Sean on the golf, you need to listen to Turtle Boy, you need to listen to Sean on the golf, you need to listen to Sean McDonough. He's former DEA. He knows what he's talking about. He's got sources, this, that, and the other. And then he pulls like shit like this that fucks up his own credibility. Well, that fucks up his credibility with me. I can't speak for any of you, but that fucks with his credibility for me. That fucks with his credibility with me. It just fucks it up. Because here I thought that I was kind of cut from the same cloth as far as passion goes. Now, obviously, I couldn't do what I've been giving him all this credit for doing, which is gaining intel, developing relationships with sources, gaining intel, and sharing information with the rest of us. Sharing valuable, experienced law enforcement insight with the rest of us. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I just like, it just kind of sucks, like it's really disappointing. It's really disappointing. Now, here's the thing too, is I'm not as disappointed as some of you, because as I stated before, when I talked about this before, I said that I take everything with a grain of salt. Even though I trust Sean for having law enforcement experience, even though I trust him, okay, but I also take what he says with a grain of salt because he doesn't bring receipts. He doesn't bring proof behind what he says. He says, I have a source, a reliable source, and this is what the source says. And I go, ooh, and I find it interesting, and I pay attention to it, and I keep it logged right back here, but I still take it with a grain of salt because I'm not seeing a receipt. So people who are like, oh my God, there's no Santa Claus. Like, calm down. Okay. You did that to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm disappointed in Sean's character right now. This is what I'm disappointed in. I'm disappointed in the fact that he's not taking into consideration that he's disrespecting everyone here. He's disrespecting all of everyone here who has supported him and who has had problems in their own households because they have said no to money that they could be making at work because they take days off to show up to court hearings and standouts. This is not someone who respects the fact that Karen Read is innocent. More importantly, he doesn't respect the fact that there are so many people that feel so passionate about the fact that Karen Read is innocent and spreading the word on that.
I sent it to Blanca, right? I didn't even know I had it. Tom CPU had me in some stupid show car, some car show, antique car show. It was a big super. It was a internal chat with all the heavies on that group. After the whole thing is taken down, I see this foolish thing, and I saw, oh my God, Nikki, you do this. Turtle Boy, do this. And by the time they wake up, we're gonna have this whole thing.
I'm on.
The whole
Hold on.
thing
I
is
just
there.
put. Hold on. Let me try it again.
Crisis going on.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
Sure.
Where is it?
You come to my
Oh, I know.
Like, you see, she's not even listening to him. This is Sean's worst moment ever. This is the saddest state that I would ever want to see Sean in. I would never want to see Sean in any sadder of a state, because he's clearly being used by this asshole. He's clearly being used and being taken advantage of because his fifis got hurt. Throwing away so much because his feelings got hurt about something, and now he's just pissing away all that's left of his credibility. And this person, she's not embracing him. She doesn't give a shit about anybody. She doesn't give a shit about anything. This is a terrible, terrible fucking person. People, we all know it. We've been seeing it for months and months and months. That's fair, Turtle Boy. I mean, this is, at least in my opinion, what I've seen, this is his worst moment. No, chat's fine. Chat's fine, Cherry. Thank you. This, in my opinion, this is the worst I've seen Sean, only because he's just being this is the side that likes me, put it that way, that likes Sean. And most of me still like Sean, believe it or not. I it takes a lot for me to get there. This will give you guys a little insight into my personality, because even though most of you are like, fuck this guy, I'm getting there. I have to go through a process first, and this is that process before I get there. Okay, so maybe it's a little more than he deserves. That's your opinion, but that's my own standard for when I tell somebody to fuck off. So this is my process before I get there. And it sucks to see the person that I do like being, because I think that he's just trying to see the best in everyone. But I don't think that that's actually true. I think that's what he's telling himself to justify the fact that he's trying to find sanctuary in being liked somewhere, because he shit the bed on his live stream and called out Turtle Boy, called out Karen Read, called out Alan Jackson, called out David Yannetti. I mean, so I think that's what's going on here. But always I give people the benefit of the doubt. I always give somebody a chance to redeem themselves. I'm going to get through this live stream before I make my decision. And fuck you if you don't like it. Too bad. But I know what I'm seeing. And this was all him. Nobody did this but him. And it sucks. It sucks. I don't like to see it happen. But there's nobody to blame but him. But this person is not even paying attention to him. In his mind, he's pouring his heart out. And he's pissing away his entire credibility, his entire image of credibility on YouTube. A guy that had 3,000 people packing in his YouTube channel to listen to his insight because he's former DEA.
A group.
And she can't.
Yeah,
she
you
can't
have-
even get her shit
Alan
together.
Jackson wants you over there. He wants one solid group. I said, well, you had one. Why'd you leave? Because Blanca didn't want. I said, didn't want the pin. See, I was digging. They don't get it. I was digging them for the pinwheels, raffles, pinwheels.
Dude, the sound
I said,
is terrible.
why? I'm trying to help to garner this to Marshall. This investigation that was a sham. No, you need to come here, and you need to give me your sources. I said, you got to be shitting me, pal. You've got to be shitting me. And then it started. Like I said, Kate, today, and this is an old story that's always surfaced between September 2023 until now. The only difference this time is I lost my patience.
Right.
No fucking way. I lost my patience. I told him, I said, this time, pal, you come after me. You mention my name again. This time,
She fixed
I'm
it.
going hard at you because I got you. You know I got you. Your boss knows I have you. Your manager knows I have you. So bring it on. He doubled down. I said, that's it. He mistook my patience for kindness. This whole thing is all fucked up because of him. And I hope he clips it all. I hope he clips every fucking word I say tonight. And I'm not gonna lie. So that's what I'm saying. He was his baby was threatened. Right? And Karen didn't know, Aiden surely didn't know that I had the goods. Well, had the goods that he was given because of Natalie. And I said, oh, when I saw some of the things, right? I said, you've got to be shitting me. And I said, okay. I sat back. What the hell was that?
I think Kate's mic's doing something.
I don't know if it's doing something loud.
my
Sorry.
fucking
What
God.
a game. What a
Jesus.
game.
The
What a
gain
game.
is mega insane. Yeah, holy shit. RIP to all the headphone users out there.
I'm sorry. Hold on. No, ew.
Damn. Whoa, it's like a
I
Faith
got-
No More concert. What is happening?
Congratulations. Okay, so
That
the
is-
good news, the good news
Oh.
is that I think it's on the mic, but the bad news is it's like looping through. So just continue talking. Sorry.
You were the worst YouTube creator of
Oh,
all
wow.
time.
It sounded actually better now. No, so
Yeah.
Like,
when I mean
it's not
threatened,
bad enough that
not
you're a
like
bad
Yeah.
person, that you have to be a
not
fucking
like
shitty
when-
YouTube
like
creator on top
threatening-
of it.
his baby. This is his cash cow. The kid said the other day, I make 50 grand a month. Oh,
So
but
what?
that's
Yeah,
gross. I got expenses. Oh, really? You got expenses? Oh, okay.
right. He's got
Download
overhead.
it. Download it.
Yeah.
Get me the 40%. But don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. We'll have a class. I'll tell you. What to
Oh,
do.
that whole deal. Yeah. Because it'd be good for everybody if I was rich, right? You like me?
You want to see me rich?
Shit.
don't
Yeah.
you?
It's
You know what I mean?
my favorite
See me
was
rich.
it's good for everyone. How is
Sit
it good for everyone?
I'm sitting back. I'm saying, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Karen has to be livid. Has to be livid. And so I get into this group. There's a couple of people there. I'm down here in Naples. The last time I went up there, I'll tell you what happened. To sell my dad's home, he's down here in Naples. I go and meet my brother Barry. God be good to him. He's dead now. All right, we're living over there down by the by the hillside, which is amazing. Listen, it's amazing. And so
Dude, I mean, I'm not
Sell the
gonna
house.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. When I heard him say that he didn't get a condolence DM, now I gave him one. I mean, I just did, you know, But here's the thing is I never ever expect anyone to send me messages for things like that. I don't expect it from anyone. Just the fact that he expected it and he feels so butthurt about it just tells me so much. And I hate it. I hate it. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that is not so crazy. Hold on. Okay, I'm having an issue here. um all right, sorry about that. StreamYard's a pain in the ass. Let me pull this back up. I just had to refresh everything. Um
And I'm nobody in this thing, nothing. I'm in the shadows with the Facebook group, hadn't done the letter yet, and I leave. And that was it. So I get back and I do the letter. Admins, they're all power. How did this happen?
this is
Okay, that's it. And that's what I'm
this is only 20 minutes long. This is already over.
saying. How did I get bounced out? But like we all know, right? I was whatever he said, whatever you quoted in your that 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 post you did about me. He said, "Oh, Karen doesn't know. He didn't put any stock into him. He thinks he's a blowhard. This,
Dude,
whatever."
if I have a personal issue with Turtle Boy, I'm gonna talk. I feel like we've developed enough of a rapport between each other that I can DM him. I could call him even and just be like, dude, what the fuck? I'm having these issues, man. I'm thinking about this and thinking about that, and it's fucking, like I just don't I don't understand.
Whatever. But and I told him, I said, "Well, I mustn't be that much of a blowhard when I'm being tasked to do special investigations, or I'm being asked to do this. Don't do this." And I said this the other day. There were more don't do's than do's. I said, "What the fuck's going on here?"
So
And I'll tell
Karen
you,
was telling you
I was
more
so
what not
the
to do.
greatest thing that ever happened, and happened when Aiden and Nicky boy, took down the whole page. I sent it to you. I don't know if you got it, right?
No.
And Blanca, I sent it to Blanca, right? I didn't even know I had it. Tom CPU had me in some stupid.
Dude, every time, man, every time I hear fucking names like Nick and like, come on.
Show car, some car show, antique car show. It was a big super. It was a internal chat with all the.
Sorry, let me get past all this. This is where she blows this
Right.
fucking
He's
speaker.
got over
Download
it.
it. Download it.
Yeah.
Get me the 40%, but don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. We'll have a class. I'll tell you. What to
Oh,
do.
that whole deal. Yeah. Because it'd be good for everybody if I was rich, right? You like me?
You want to see me rich?
Shit. Yeah. It's
You know,
my favorite
me
was
rich.
it's good for everyone. How's
Sit-
it good for everyone?
I'm sitting back. I'm saying, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Karen has to be livid. Has to be livid. And I'm going to tell you, all right, all you people out there, she was done with him.
Mm.
She told me,
And now she muted Sean. Yeah, like I didn't do that. She muted Sean. So Sean is just sitting there fucking talking. So let's see if we could just get look at the look on her face, dude. I mean, I guess she just is that the end of her stream? Is that how it ends? Unreal. Yeah, that's it. Riveting stuff there. Riveting stuff. I guess she's back. Okay.
Now that Mikey's not going to be around, we know that, right? And I have to say, listen, the fact, and I told Aiden and company, I have been banged like you're right, Kate, right? Boomer, I just watch you. I like you. The only people that came back at me hard was my side, not your side.
Well,
I think this is.
why do you think that is?
Rex, WBZ. I can't. Since we're here in social media land, I cannot confirm. Of course, you can't. You know who confirmed it for me? The silence. I did my homework, but God forbid I put it out before Aiden, right?
Oh, that no, yeah,
You know that.
no.
I'm just saying
I
that.
hear that. Yeah.
You know,
Well, I get
Rogie-
that. I think she picked a really
Rogie-
shitty
Rogie-
person to work with this. Yeah.
All right. Listen, Rogie Rogue didn't hit me. Kevin,
Like,
Sean.
again,
How could you?
that is all coming right back to Turtle Boy. Like, Sean has to realize what he's doing here. And he's doing exactly what these other people do. Sean has to realize what he's doing here. Dude, stop fucking telling me to check my fucking DMs. I already did. He has to realize what he's doing here, because what he's doing here is he's doing what everyone else does. These blue shirt people. He's forgetting about why we're here and making this about Turtle Boy. Because what he's doing by lumping himself up with these people, he's going against Karen Reed. By fucking up his relationship with the support that Karen Reed has, that's bad for Karen Reed. He was a valuable asset. I mean, what did he think was going to happen here? What does he think that he's doing?
To ever bring so much damage to Mike Proctor's family. I didn't hear that this time.
Because here's my prediction. And some people might think, okay, that's a little premature, Will. Fair enough. But I mean, so far I'm seeing the behavior of somebody who just wants to find acceptance somewhere. This is a guy who has created so many relationships behind the scenes, something that I don't recommend anybody here do. Created so many relationships behind the scenes, and then now he's created relationships with these people behind the scenes. And now that this group of people are now like, dude, fuck Sean. Fuck him. Now that that's happening, these people over here, little Kate Peter over here, they're going to start having conversations with Sean about Karen Reed's case. And Sean is going to want to be accepted so bad that certain things are going to start to make sense. Grant Smith Ellis is going to start to make sense to Sean. This is just a prediction. Kate Peter is going to start making sense to Sean. Plevin is going to start making sense to Sean. And then Sean here is going to start doing live streams trying to prove Karen Read's guilt.
So listen, I don't want an answer. All I know is the guy that gave me Enrique Delgado gave me that. Gave me
You're
a-
talking about Michael Proctor's termination,
done.
right? That's what you're talking about.
It's been done
So-
a while. And I think
So
Okay.
I did actually, just so you know, Sean, and I think, like, let's be candid here. I think
Okay.
it's sort of arguing they're going to make an example out of Michael Proctor. His text messages definitely put a black eye. I don't agree with it, but I think that, termination is probably imminent. As I understand, it's not official at this point. So, I mean,
all right,
whatever.
Thank
Right. But like, again, I will know more.
She doesn't agree with the termination of a Massachusetts state trooper, a lead investigator investigating the murder of a Boston police officer. She doesn't believe that it's merited that he be fired for sending those text messages amongst his colleagues and superiors, talking about a woman the way that he was, who's a suspect. She doesn't think that that's merited. And this is who Sean is become so desperate to gain some sort of acceptance from.
More when his IA is still open, I guess, is my point, because
Got it.
after all that controversy, I went back and I tried to request the IA again. I got Fanning's very early on because they closed his out quickly. Then they closed out Buchanan's. Then they closed out Tully's. Now we're just waiting on Proctor's, but every other IA that I've seen, it's not.
Are you sure?
Am I
about
sure?
that? Yeah. You sure they closed Tully's out?
I have it in my possession. Yeah, they don't release them until they're
How would
closed.
you get that? How would you get that, Kate? I know you did.
A public records request.
A FOIA?
Well, I mean,
IA
that would FOIAs are usually federal. That's the Freedom of Information Act. As far
been-
as state and local records, they're usually just records requests pursuant to the Massachusetts general law for open records. But yeah,
You're telling me-
I can absolutely, and I have receipts for that because it's a very easily documented process.
Right.
The way that you do it through the Massachusetts State Police. So every single IA, the first thing I did was I put a blanket request in for all of them, and they took a little bit. I pushed them on it. They sent me back Fanning's. That was the only one that closed. And then intermittently, I would just keep doing it. So I've gotten Buchanan's now, and I've gotten Tully's. The only
what-
one that I can't get is Proctor's because his is still open. But my
what-
point is, with all of these internal investigations, they're not talking about corruption, cover up, planting evidence, anything like that. It all revolves around the text messages.
That's right.
Mm.
And listen, I put out a very general statement. I can confirm Michael Proctor has been terminated by the Massachusetts State Police. I didn't say it was because of Uncle Joe, or it was very, very confident. That's it. Okay. The fact that Rogie Rogue didn't take my head off, but my good fucking buddy Aiden
Okay,
did.
smart ass. Let's see what this
What's this guy?
mystery's all
They can let us
about.
to me. BLT. What is it?
Oh yeah.
He showed
I can't remember the name.
shows courage. Oh, buddy, he got some good favor with Aiden. Yeah, but he's back in the fold now too, because
Right.
he was persona non grata too. He took a big shot at Big
They
Daddy.
do that like to Crawford, same kind of thing, right? This is
I'm like-
this is sort of a pattern of behavior.
Well, yeah, so the thing is, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
thank God. I started thinking the other night. I said, wait a minute, and it came out of the seat of my pants, like most of my life has been. Halfway through,
Get out
I
of
don't know where
town.
the Christ I was on some show. Halfway through, I said, wait a minute. Right in my mind, I said, stop it. You know why I can say with conviction? Not because I had a really good source, right? That I worked with back in the day. Now he's advanced, right? That he actually gave me Enrique Delgado's information. I sat on that because, whoa, Sean is sus. No one, Rex, where were you, Rex? Where was Ted Daniels, whatever his name is, right? 1201, 101, 6 hours went by. Oh, there we go. And I'm just saying, the fact that Kevin, the champion of, decency, he didn't take my head off. And I think you're kind of intimating, Kate. that-
Well, I don't think it's so. And again, like that, it's not. It's pretty simple. Okay, anyone can do a public records request if
I did.
So, I mean, but if you needed help, I would be happy to help you, and you can
I-
get these
I
records
think-
for yourself, right?
I
Because
think-
I can pull them and I post them often, and people will,
I
if they don't like what's in the public records, go, that's not real. But the wonderful thing about public records is, like, I pull them to show my work and for, sort of ease of access to other people. But you don't
Right.
have to take my word for it. You can go request it yourself. They're public
Right.
records. They're open, right?
Oh, that's-
I just want to go on record and say that if Sean starts saying that Karen Reed is guilty, I'm moving to Canada. Just saying, I'm doing it.
So I would encourage anybody to do this on their own, and you will see that these IA investigations are over. They made their recommendations. Buchanan lost vacation time. Fanning got off with nothing. They didn't consider him. That wasn't
He was
sustained.
offered.
Tully was demoted, which is unfortunate for him, but it is what it is. And Proctor is
Demoted?
still open. I don't need to lie about this because it's easy to verify it.
He's not a lieutenant anymore. He got demoted.
Well, I mean, he got moved out of the office.
yeah, that's
He's
fine.
he's now over with the investigative services at the
Right,
main
framing.
barracks. Yeah.
So here we go. You don't think what he did? I know we're getting off the thing, right? You don't think what he did, mishandling of evidence, number one, to the detriment of a witness in the Commonwealth's case against Aiden. You don't think that was?
I think that what happened with that situation
how-
was extremely unfortunate. I'm still a little bit unclear.
What you
you know,
talking
of a
about?
witness in the Commonwealth's case against Aiden. You don't think that was?
I think that what happened with that situation was extremely unfortunate. I'm still a little bit unclear as far as, because quite frankly, as it is my understanding that the same thing was done
Y'all are fucked
with
up.
Jen McCabe, that, the entire extraction was afforded to the defense. The difference being that, as arguably unethical, I wouldn't say arguably, I would call them unethical, but despite the conduct of Yannetti and Jackson, I do not believe that they would just give their client
Conduct.
carte blanche to go through a witness's personal information on their phone and post it on the internet at will. Unfortunately, that happened with it. I need more information. However, I know that there was not anything IA opened on that, and I know that, like, Jake, stop it.
I
sorry, the
thought
dog
that
in
was, Jesus, you're gonna come.
no, I gotta. Yeah, it's a zoo over here, and he likes
Yeah.
to try to play with.
You bring up a
Stop
good
playing
point,
with the
but
cats.
here's the thing.
Um,
Christ.
Here's the thing. It was a full extraction minus some things, right? Am I getting that wrong? Minus a few things.
There was as far as I know, it was not minus anything. It was a full extraction. Yeah.
Right. And some, all right. So, well, listen, I purposely stayed away because, some is my business and none of my business. I didn't want anything to do
Wow,
with that. I think
dude.
it was a horrible situation.
I hear
Really,
you.
I don't wanna
bro?
give I don't want to give anything, comment. But the bottom line is this, right? That was not right to Lindsay. That kid either had a brain
What?
fart or whatever. But I tell you, my source said he's done. I'm breaking it out here. It's not because of anything that he did with Karen Reed or all that stuff. It's because
What?
this new guy, the colonel, said, that's it. If you're a lieutenant in the state police, a very prestigious rank in a very prestigious CPAC unit in Norfolk County,
This is just sad now. You just sound like a fucking crazy old man now, dude. Jesus Christ.
and you're that fucking flagrant and nonchalant with evidence, I think the guy says you're either working for the feds or you're the
I
dumbest
mean-
mofo that ever walked the fence. I don't think the kid's dumb. But that's,
Okay, but
that's egregious, Kate. I'm telling you, that's egregious.
and I'm not saying like the extraction situation. Trust me, between her and Natalie, it's horrible. They've been humiliated. That information off their phones has arguably been used to further
Natalie?
intimidate them. I think it's shitty, but I just, again, I mean, they moved Tully to another office. They closed
Right.
his IA, and they still have him on these cases. So, I mean, if
I
it
have
was,
to believe you. I have to believe you. You got that. You say you do. I'm not going to listen. I'm just telling you what my guy told me.
I can show. I mean, again, I can show you, and I
don't need it.
really,
I don't need
you
it.
know,
I
we've
don't
had
need
enough stream setup issues, but I'm happy to share documentation
I
as
don't
I
know.
have
I
it.
don't-
I
don't want-
I do try to be fair, and I do understand that, like, you know, not everything in this situation on either end is going to be ideal, but I like to just kind of deal with what I can verify
There you
on
go.
my own.
Respect that. Respect that.
Now, I'd like to just quickly just walk an idea past you there, Sean. You would say that, or would you agree that you know the Aiden side,
All right.
whatever those people. I mean, and himself. I mean, he's been traipsing your name around. And this isn't me attacking you, but he's saying things to the effect of like, he's not a serious person. You know, he's kind of showing you out to be, you know, like off your nut, right?
Yeah, yes, I
And
am. Crazy
okay,
Sean's up there, right?
yeah,
I
that
call-
seems to be their narrative for you, right? Like that's and they're even going with it's almost like scripted, like they said about another person. That's not a serious person. That seems to be like the buzzwords for it, right? You're not serious. So I was just wondering, is it possible? Is it even a possibility that some of the intel that you're getting, and I'm not saying all the intel, but some of it, and let's just say for argument's sake that in the case of Mr. O'Keefe, okay, that
Right.
story there. Let's say that is it possible that that intel was given to you to help buttress the tar and feathering of Sean? Do you think
Okay.
that might be possible?
Let's correct the record here. What I
Okay.
was given came to me the same way that Aiden Carney got it. Now,
Okay.
I'm going to use the analogy. Well, if they try to set me up
Uh-huh.
with his information, then he's done too.
Okay.
That means it's all been a fugazi. Do I
Right.
believe that? No, because there's language in those. You probably saw it. There's language in those texts that she puts in quotation marks, right? And it's legal, right? She said knowingly, willingly withheld exculpatory evidence. Whoever said that to her, she put it in quotation marks.
Or,
Okay.
I mean,
Okay,
again,
now-
that's
well, hold on.
Karen's word.
Oh,
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 sorry.
I know. That's what I was going to say. Just
Not
I
mine.
just want to. I got what you're saying. I'm following exactly what you're saying. But here, I've heard
Yeah.
of Karen Reed. I've never spoken to her. I don't know her, but it's a common statement about her that she's very hyper intelligent and that
Yes.
she holds.
Per request, folks. Per
I think
request.
we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Cat, 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 cat. I think we got a super cat. I think we got a super cat. I think we got.
There you go, Derek.
holds these jobs and that and no dummy gets the kind of
Right.
job she has. That's why I've never come up and been like, oh, she's some kind of idiot. I don't believe she's an idiot. She appears to be a very intelligent person. Would you think it would be impossible for her to have the acumen to know that putting that in quotations would be like it would look right to you?
Hey,
You know what I
look,
mean?
at this stage of the game, anything's
Yeah.
possible.
Right. Yeah. I hear you.
But you know
I hear
something?
you.
Her problems, right, like legal problems at this stage, is in the hands of the Commonwealth. That's
Mm.
let's make a determination. That's
Clevin's
Uncle
the
Joe
gimp.
stuff. Right.
Okay.
That's over there. That's
I just had a thought, man. Like I just Clement's totally the gimp, dude. Clement's the gimp from Pulp Fiction, dude. Like can you imagine, yo, picture Picture me some dude with the fucking with some leather shit going across like this. Got the fucking leather mask on with the zipper. and then he takes it off and it's Plevin and I pay attention to logic. Oh my god, I could just see Plevin as a gimp, dude. Oh my god, dude. There's nothing better ever in the world, ever. In Gimp Plevin.
That's the only reason I looked at that. The other stuff is done.
Oh my
It's over
god,
with.
I'm a child.
Her fate right now is in there. And I'm going to say right now, I said it tonight. I said it for she's bulletproof and they
Sure.
know her. They
But I
know it.
mean, then why? I mean, so she almost, arguably, almost got convicted on
Yeah,
something last time, right? That was pretty close. I mean, her own defense is saying 9-3. I heard 10-2. I'm willing. Let's just keep it at 9-3, right?
How
That's
about 11 and a half to half? I don't
Oh,
care. It's
but
still,
but that's what they're
Yeah.
saying though, Sean, is that the majority of the jury, wanted to convict her. So,
Right.
but they still let it go to trial. They got her that close to a conviction. Now she's going to trial again. That doesn't seem to me like someone. I mean, if the federal government, if the FBI and the DOJ knew that she didn't do this and knew
Right.
that there were third party culprits, then there is no way that it would go to trial the first time, let alone twice. And I mean, there's nothing else coming out. That was her trial.
Listen, stupid. Not if they're trying to catch other people, like court officers. Like, I don't know, maybe the chief clerk of clerks fucking jumped on their radar when they found out that he was that he fucking seriously injured somebody in a drunk driving incident. Maybe he's seeing all of Beverly Cannoni's fucking shitty ass behavior, and maybe Josh Levy's looking into to collect evidence on her. I mean, did you ever think of any of this shit? No, because you're stupid. Like, the whole point is to bring down corruption. Like, you don't think if they're going to get a hold of a fucking DA and they think they can get a bigger fish than the DA that they're going to do that or take down everyone around that DA? You don't think they're going to do that if they can? It takes time to build a case. And where crimes are being committed in that regard, where crimes would be being committed and where evidence would be collected from, if you're trying to catch Beverly Cannoni for being corrupt, would be in that courtroom during that trial. Her abusing her power would be evidence to be used against her. Now, that's just me hoping. I don't know if that's the case one way or the other, but that's just me hoping.
Trial. I'm sure that we can all agree that she wasn't holding information back on that trial because her attorneys would be incompetent if that were the case.
Well,
Right.
then explain. This is where I say, shame on Lally, shame on Alan, David, whatever.
Like, you see what's going on here.
My
right now,
comeback
right?
line is, you fools, right? They put up 6 witnesses against your.
You see where Kate Peters trying to take this, right? This should answer the question in the poll for you guys, by the way, because you see what Kate Peters trying to do here, right? She's easing into the narrative that Karen Read is guilty. She's engaging in a conversation on Karen Read's guilt with Sean McDonough, trying to convince him that she is guilty. She feels that he's sensitive. She smells the blood in the water. She knows right now that the entire community is turned on him. She knows it. She smells blood in the water. And so what she's trying to do is turn him.
It's your army of witnesses, right? 68 versus 6, and you couldn't get a conviction. That's my
Right,
comeback.
but I mean, in the same token, they pulled out 6 witnesses to their 67, and they only convinced 3 people
True.
out of
But they-
12.
12 on the charge 1 and charge 3, if you believe what they said.
Well, and I mean, again, that's the same sort of issue with the hearsay. And I mean, I don't know that here's the thing is they claim that there were these unanimous counts, but the Aiden doxed the foreman, the jury foreman, right?
I don't
Okay,
know.
but listen, somebody
I don't
did, and the jury foreman has been targeted by Free Karen Read because he was a guilty voter.
It's just so sad to see him sitting up there just basically being an oaf. It sucks. And yes, I feel like there's I like in a way that there's no Santa Claus.
So how can the jury be unanimous if he was a guilty voter?
I don't know. I
You,
don't listen.
it can't. That's I mean, that's one. That's at least one holdout that wanted to convict her of all the charges, right? So that makes it impossible for it to be a unanimous agreement on any of the charges. Just if it's just that one guy.
Listen, I zoned out the whole thing because it didn't matter. Because I'll tell you right now,
Huh.
there's no
Huh.
justice for John on my side. All right. If she gets convicted, if the biggest word in the dictionary, right?
Mm.
If she gets convicted, well, then she's convicted. It's justice for John. If she's hung again,
Wow.
right? Done. Not,
Wow.
It still doesn't bring justice for John. Do you get it? And I'm on. Listen,
I need to hear that one more
you
fucking
know I was
time
never
because
gonna
I can't
convince
believe
you.
my fucking ears.
Kate or Boomer, right? I think
I just
I've
don't.
given you a couple of things to think about, right? And I know this word in the dictionary, right? If she gets convicted, well, then she's convicted. It's justice for John. If she's hung again or NG, right? Done. Not she's acquitted. It
Mhm.
still doesn't bring justice for John. Do you get it? And I'm on. Listen, I mean, you know, I was never going to convince you, Kate or Boomer, right? I think listen.
Sean, I know you're going to listen to this. I know you're going to watch this. You just told the fucking world that if Karen Reed is convicted, then that's justice for John. Like, you just told everybody that. I didn't say it. I didn't spin it anyway. I played it again.
But I think I've given you a couple of things to think about, right? And I know you guys. I mean, the expectation. Oh, we're gonna get Sean. He's coming.
No, I know that you're for. I guess I'm trying to understand more. These are questions that, first of all, I was asked to ask you, but also like it's not so much.
I love it.
It's to understand the thought process, right? Because I mean, I
Right.
do want to understand.
Okay, and I listen, Kate. The reason I'm here is because I trust you in that manner. Listen, am I an asshole? Yeah, of course I am. Did I do things that I'm? She's gonna come. Did I do things in my life that I'm not proud of? Of course. We all make mistakes, okay? But I do have 35 years of my line. I told Kevin the other day, this is going to happen in one way: either swim or sink, right? And at the okay, Maureen. I mean, I keep calling Maureen, Karen McCormick. Don't take this the wrong way, all right? And I said, if I sink, I'm going to be devastated. I'm just not going to move on. I'm going to be devastated. And I got the famous picture. Oh, if Sean is right and the helicopters come down, the Republic, it's all a thing. I'm just going to move on. Are you serious? I mean, how can you be serious? I think you'd be devastated, Kate. If this is an acquittal, you'd be devastated.
I wish that I wouldn't. And I've been asked that question
Would you just
numerous
move
times
on?
over, especially. It's not, I mean, at the end of the day, this doesn't have the same effect on my life. I would feel very sad for his family
Uh,
and his friends and the people who loved him that I know would be very hurt by that because I've grown to like them a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would be sad for them,
Me too.
but
Okay.
it wouldn't devastate. I mean, the only thing that it would, I'm not afraid of being wrong. I would say that, and it doesn't really affect my life like that. I know that it affects other people's lives more. Whether the issue to me was really never whether or not she gets acquitted. The issue for me was how I perceive she is taking efforts to ensure that she is. And I think that there's a way that you can rigorously defend yourself without intimidating, harassing, smearing, defaming, and harming
Exactly.
every
Exactly.
single witness in the state's case against you, and not just stopping there, but also peripheral people like this man's family, his mother, his niece, his nephew, his father.
Right.
You know, they didn't need to get drug into this. I think that I think that more and more I'm seeing with Free Karen Reed, you have a split where I've talked to many people who still do believe that she is innocent of murder, and I know I'm not going to change people's minds, and that's okay. I disagree, but at the end of the day, I'm not facing prison time over this. You're not facing prison time over this. I didn't lose my brother. You didn't lose your brother. Well, I mean, in this, I'm sorry, that was
No, you're right.
that came out that came out more insensitive than I mentioned. That wasn't my point, but like, no, I didn't have anyone murdered in my life. I didn't know John O'Keefe. I'm not related to him, nor are you, right? So the impact really begins and ends with the social media crap, which frankly isn't that important.
Yeah.
But when it comes to
I love it. Good for
the
you,
witness
Kate.
intimidation stuff, I mean, I think it's clearer and clearer here. And it does, I think it's fair to ask the question, does a completely innocent person with nothing to worry about or hide take these steps? I don't know. Maybe it happens and I'm not aware of it.
Once it happens, it happens because she's fighting for her life.
I mean,
Okay.
but I mean, at what point, where does that end in other people's life? You know what I mean? If
So-
I'm fighting for my life, does that give me the right to ruin yours?
Well, it all depends how you look at that. Okay, now
yeah.
hold on, real quick. Hypothetically speaking,
It totally does. If you're trying to ruin my life, if I'm fighting for my life because you're attacking it, then fuck yeah, that's on the table. Ruining your life in the process, fuck you. It's either you or me, fuck you. If I'm right and you're wrong, and it's between you and me, fuck you. The fuck out of my face with that shit. Of course it gives you the right.
speaking, right? Hypothetically, not going to cast shade here. If it was buffoonery on the part of Sarif, he didn't take his job seriously. He just wanted to go home because no one wants to catch a case like that just before you check off, right? Boomer, you're about to go home. You've been out there all night. You know a blizzard's coming. You think he wants to put Karen at the Canton PD waiting for and have her sweated and interrogated because she said I hit him? And here's another thing. I want you to think about this, Pete.
So
also.
now
This
she
is
says
very
I hit
important.
him?
I learned a long time ago with boss of mine. He said, Sean, if it ain't on paper, it never happened.
Exactly.
Not one EMS person that was there that heard her say that had the decency to write down and say, yeah,
Exactly.
listen, we heard the lady say she hit him. That girl, whatever her name is, Katie, never said it. Fratelli, whatever his name is, he was the main guy. He never wrote it in his book. That's huge.
You know what sucks?
Sarif?
It's like now I don't even want to fucking hear him saying these things. You know what I mean? Like
He's been hiding on midnight shifts his
It's
whole life.
the point
because
now where
he's
I'm
got
just
he's
like,
got a
dude.
business like everyone else. He doesn't want anything, right? Not one report was made, right?
I think it says something, because it says something beyond. One might argue, okay, well, he's trying to convince Kate Peter. He took an opportunity to try to convince Kate Peter of why Karen Reed is innocent. Cool. The problem with that is that Kate Peter is aware of all of the evidence, and Kate Peter we're aware of has done and is responsible for a shit ton of horrible fucking things, like a shit ton of horrible things. Like she lives a shitty existence just on Twitter, much less everything else that she does around it in real life. So if he's sitting here trying to convince her of this, that says something about him in the sense that, okay, well, on one hand, it says, well, he's giving everybody a chance to they haven't heard it from me yet. They're willing to listen to me, so I'm going to talk to them. Cool. So I'm going to take this opportunity. That's one hand. The other hand, it's like, dude, no. what it says about your character is that you're so egotistical to think that you're going to go on and you're going to risk your own credibility giving this person a chance who has repeated time after time, shown us time after time that she is an absolute and utter sociopath. Now, I don't know. I'm not a mental health professional. I can't diagnose her with that. But when it comes to looking at symptoms of that, of sociopathy, she has them. She expresses these symptoms quite a bit. So it is my uneducated opinion that she is a sociopath, meaning that she cannot find a path that leads her to a good place. She feeds off of toxicity, turmoil. She's a cockroach, a rat, drawn to garbage and sewage. And it's what she lives off of. It's her lifeblood. It is what she depends on to live. What we find to be refuse, which we find to have a disgusting smell, and we find to be revolting, it's what she crawls around in and feeds off of. This is the type of person that Kate Peter is. This is the type of person that she has shown us on consistent occasions that she is. And you would think that an experienced law enforcement agent would know this, would see this, and be one of the first people to go, there's no redemption for someone like this. I'd be wasting my fucking breath talking to someone like this. Why doesn't an experienced law enforcement agent have that common sense? That's what I want to know.
About I hit him, right? Not one. Now, why did Jen, you're listening, why couldn't you just give that 2-second line? Oh, well, Lanka, Lanka, I forgot to tell you, you don't have to come back in the snowstorm, right? You don't have to come back. But I want to tell you, I forgot to tell you. She said something like, I may have hit him. Not one person in this whole thing, right, until the stand said, I hit him.
Well, that's not true because it was in the charging documents.
It's in the charging
Stoughton,
documents.
Yeah, back to
Yeah,
Stoughton
yeah.
District Court.
I
So
may have hit him.
no, I mean,
It was,
I hit him. I hit him came from
Yeah.
the
But where is
emergency
it
personnel.
written in the report? So you do a report,
But it's not
and then
written
you
in
give
any
the
report.
affidavit, the charging documents. I'm talking about where is it written in any
Right.
official report?
Right.
Okay, where is the accident investigation? Right, you get a hit and run. Okay, how come there's no accident report taken? Okay, this is in your wheelhouse, right? Why didn't anyone like
Let's
Michael?
fast forward.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward to the future a little bit. Let's jump in our DeLorean. Let's put our flux capacitor to work and let's travel to the near future for a moment. You guys, let's do that together. Pack ourselves in the DeLorean and gun it to 88. What happens if Kate Peter all of a sudden has a moment? What happens if Kate Peter all of a sudden has a moment? Oh my God. Karen Reed is innocent. Sean is right. Thank God Sean came onto my channel and convinced me of the truth. Thank you. Let's pretend that happens. Is anybody going to give a fuck? I'm not. Is anybody, after everything that Kate Peter has done, is anybody going to give a fuck that she's changed her mind? She won't find any sanctuary here. I don't give a fuck if Turtle Boy and her become best friends. She won't find, I judge people I judge people's character by their actions, not by who they associate with. I don't give a fuck. She will not get any quarter here. So what does Sean think he's doing? What does he think he's going to accomplish? And that's not to imply that I think that Turtle Boy and her would become friends. I'm giving the most outrageous example that I could think of. I mean, what good is that going to do? Because I'm not going to give a fuck what Kate Peter says. I'm not going to find her in some way valuable to this. No fucking way.
Yuri, whatever his name is, the other guy, Trooper Paul, why didn't he do like a normal, I hit you, okay, we're going to do an accident report. Where's that?
Well, they did
You know
do
what
it.
they
Trooper
Oh, he
Paul did a
did.
report. From what I understand, his
Yeah,
report
he
writing
did,
is a little bit better than his
He
testimony.
did a reconstruction. But see,
Right.
there's a difference because I did them, right? But the guy, okay, I'm the CSI guy. I'm Trooper Paul, right? God forbid.
Trooper Paul is not CSI. He's
he's
CARS, which is the crash analysis and reconstruction. Yeah.
Come
Right,
on,
hold on.
Sean.
All right. So I was a CSI guy. I get called to the scene of a major vehicular homicide, right? Right. So I do my work, right? Like Trooper Paul. But the beat guy who got the call to mark out the lanes like Wilson Boulevard in Arlington, right? That guy has to do the accident investigation report. Like, okay, you hit a guy, you hit a car in the parking lot. It's either you take a report or you don't. I'm saying this, John O'Keefe, by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, said that he was struck and killed by Karen Reed. There's not one accident. I'm talking about accident report. There's a ton of,
Well, those
Oh,
are usually for like insurance companies, the accident.
yeah,
reports,
there
so,
you go.
right.
Hey, ho,
So I
ho.
don't think that John was asking for Karen's insurance though.
Okay, come on, Kate, come on. Right. This is where the big dog comes in. You know why no accident report was done? Because you're right. That's when the insurance investigators come in, and they're not Trooper Paul. That's exactly why no accident report was done.
I know, but Sean, the police are not the ones who call and make an insurance claim. The insured would.
No, when you
Jesus, dude.
charge
What the fuck
A
is going
woman.
on right now?
with killing her boyfriend by ways of a vehicle, right? The one a piece of information that's missing this whole thing by design is I'm telling you, they have it. State police have it. Canton PD has it, right? It's called an accident report. Sometimes
Right,
they
but
give
those are done again when you. So if I get into an accident and I call the police and I say, hey, come out and please take an accident report.
Yeah,
That's for they make a report for the insurance company. It's not even a criminal citation most.
No, dummy. That's why Jesus fucking Christ. No, dude, they do it for court purposes. Anything that's documented by law enforcement is done for the purpose of showing in court. That's it. That's the one purpose it's for. Someone might call and ask for an accident report when nobody was hurt, when there's very minimal damage for the purpose of insurance. Yes, because your insurance company will not cover an accident unless there is a police report. But that is not the reason why police reports exist for accidents. You dummy. And you're arguing with a fucking cop. You're arguing with a cop about why fucking cops fill out reports. You fucking serious? Jesus.
Most of the time, this is a criminal
No,
case, right?
no,
The
you're
accident
right.
reports are for insurance.
So
So
when-
my
Oh
question
my
here
God.
is though, who's calling the police and asking them to make an accident report for what insurance claim? There's a deceased
You are
pedestrian.
retarded.
hit by a car. It's a cat. It's a
Okay,
car.
okay, but again, is he asking for an accident report to go after Karen's insurance? No, he's deceased.
No.
Yeah,
It's-
what the fuck
the
are you
onus is
talking
on-
about?
The investigating, who knows? Is it the state police at that time? Yeah, they do accident reports. I'm not talking about reconstruction, right? You know
I know,
why
but
they do-
again, like, how are they going to do an accident report?
Okay, here we go. Okay, at such and such a time,
What do
we
you
say
mean, dude? You
Karen Reed
fucking
backed into backed her car into John O'Keefe.
Accident report. Got a call. Found out the evidence led us to this woman hit this man with her vehicle. You fill out a report just for that. And yes, just in case there's some sort of insurance later on, who knows? It serves that purpose. It may serve that purpose, but that's not the purpose for it. The purpose for it is for court. You fucking dummy.
Keefe causing
It might be
mortal
civil court. It
wounds.
might be criminal
He
court.
died.
But at that point, were they not? They were unsure of what hit him initially. Wasn't that the
No,
case?
no,
They didn't know if it was a plow or a car or what they, or you know, did
You
were
asked
they
them.
not?
I don't know why. Listen, I've been asking for over 2.5
Yeah.
years. I'm just saying,
Right.
there's a reason why certain things were done. I know we can go this. Listen, I'm telling
Yeah,
you, we can do this forever. Talk this, talk that. The thing is this, okay? It was never written in any report that she said that. Even when she called Lanka. Why would it? I'm getting back to my thing. It's snowing out. It's a blizzard. Why did Lanka and Gallagher have to
And
come
who
back?
the fuck is Benzo Bobby over here that just keeps chiming in here, dude? Like, what is this guy's fucking deal? So was it like was it a plow or was it like sorry, I nodded off there for a second, man. Jesus, dude,
Come back. It was a 2-second thing. Hey, Mikey Lanka. I just want to let you know, I forgot. Don't come. You don't have to come back. I'm telling you.
It's
Call it in. Why?
it's hard to say why.
Tell you
You
why.
know, I mean, as far as the reaction, you get woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you get
Uh-huh.
driven out to, you're trying to find your friend who you later find deceased in the snow. There's a lot going on. I mean, like, I don't think it's I mean, I think it's pretty. You've never had a call where
What
later
the
on a
fuck are you
witness
talking
calls you
about?
back and says, "Hold on, I need to talk again." Like, especially in that moment, right?
And I'd say, yeah. What do you got? Just tell me. I'll write it down.
Okay, so I mean,
do
but
that.
if that would have
I'll-
happened, then I mean, I would that matter?
Yeah, I think it would.
I think I appreciate Nick Carr has a good question for you. I like this one. I think that, like, it really kind of highlights your experience and everything. So you worked CSI, right? So if
Pretty
you
much.
were if you were on scene
Right.
as the Canton officer when John was transported to the hospital, and so you have no access to evidence containers to collect the snow with drops of blood in the high wind snowstorm.
Right.
What would you have done?
Right. Well, we heard what Gallagher could have done. He said it was back at the station. That's what I would have done.
I
would have
would
gone back to the station and done the
I would refer you back to the LV cops.
industry standard way. Gallagher's full of shit. Gallagher said that he didn't see Brian Higgins.
Where do you
when
get these fucking
he and
idiots,
Lanka
huh?
went back
Where do
to
you
the
get 'em?
house. How do you miss a guy like Brian Higgins? Just tell me.
What do you mean when they went back to the house? Well, I mean, I don't. The
When
house
Lanka-
is the property's pretty big, and the house is pretty big.
when
Where I
Lanka-
mean, I guess it
when
depends.
Lanka- well, okay. Listen, I got this embedded in my brain because I wanted to watch. I wanted to see the little squirmy, the 13-year DEA task force officer, right? Oh, and didn't have to do a search warrant. Well, why? You searched the property. You searched private property without a search warrant. Did you get consent? No. Then why'd you search? All right. He goes back with Lanka. Lanka said, yeah, who's there? Brian Higgins, Brian Albert, the cast of characters. Right? You know what? Special Agent Task Force Officer Gallagher says, this guy, what about Brian Higgins? I never saw him. How do you miss Brian Higgins? Both guys were there. He says no. Lanka says yes. What I'm trying to say is that was a 20-second phone call in the middle of a blizzard. Why did they have to truck all the way back to 34 Fairview? And here's the other thing. Why did they leave? They knew the troops were coming. They knew Procter and Company were coming. Why did they leave? Why did they leave, Kate? I'm telling you, industry
Joe Flipperhead, I voted for you, bro.
standards were completely violated. And I'm the only one in this room has done the job.
Yeah,
feel-
no, I defer to people that have, and I talk to, again, like a
Did that
lot
guy
of
ask
people
the
that.
question? Did he ask the question? Nick.
I
whatever
mean,
his name is?
he was asking sort of what would you do if you were in
Right.
that blizzard, and you
Right.
say that you would go back to the station and
Yeah, I would say
get
I would secure.
the
I would,
evidence
look, I would
specs.
secure the scene. That's the first thing you do.
Of
Get a
course.
scribe. No one
It's
in.
common
no one out. If you
sense.
go in, give me your name.
Like, dude, I don't even have any law enforcement experience, and I would answer it that way. Like, Jesus, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, that chat is going nuts, dude. That chat is going crazy.
Time. You come out. Give me your name. Time out. Industry standards. Trust me.
Well, I mean, I actually just drove through.
Bro, there's only one person on the planet that could have secured that crime scene the proper way, folks. Everyone knows this.
And his name is John C.
Well, too. Him and Joe flip ahead.
A pedestrian strike the other day, right on Route
Oh.
1 near my house. And I
Mhm.
mean, there were cruisers and stuff there, but I mean, people were still driving down the road. They were, kind of reverting traffic, but it was not no one in, no one out. It was right in front of the CVS actually. So there was
Right,
parking
okay.
lot traffic and everything else. So like, I mean, if that's industry standard, then I've definitely seen it not happen.
Well, listen. I don't. You don't do a crime scene search on a vehicle collision. But
Well, I
when
mean, I think
s-
you do in that case when you start to find evidence, and I mean, they weren't digging through the snow. I think part of the problem was that the search wasn't necessarily sufficient the first time around because of the weather conditions, right? So they kept finding evidence,
Oh,
which seems to be a
baby.
huge.
Jesus, dude.
the poor babies. They couldn't get Robert Kraft to get those big heaters out. They couldn't get any. No, come on. This is a Boston.
Robert
cop.
Kraft, like the
Like
owner of the Patriots.
Couldn't get those big heaters to come down. Berkey's really close to Bobby. Hey, takes a phone call. Hey, Mr. Kraft, listen, you gave me a lot of money for those details. You give Helene a lot of. We have a problem here. We need to pull all the stops out, Boomer, for one of our own. He's dead. He's gone. We need to get the snow. We need to find evidence, right? Can you lend us that? We'll send a pickup truck to pick it up. Fuck no, they didn't. And guess what? You all lied about the crime scene. Kevin did. Braden Carney, I don't know who the Christ he is. Oh, Sean, I got it. It's right there in the book. I got it. That crime scene was never secured. And anything that happened after those 12 hours, down the drain. But
So
the
what
problem
about
is,
the murders I was talking about earlier?
I
though,
mean,
that-
that's what it boils down to, you dummy. Like, I mean, the bottom line is what Sean's saying, we all agree with. It would be petty to not, I mean, even though this is a petty stream, it would be beyond my level of petty to deny that I agree with what he's saying right here. I think we all do. The crime scene was never secured. And the fact that after that happened, anything that happens after that is nil. It creates doubt. Everything has doubt once that becomes the case. So the fact that this went to trial in the first place, much less going to trial a second time, makes me think that Judge Beverly Cannoni is absolutely corrupt. So just all of these things, these are the very simple points that make whatever argument she or Plevin have complete and utter bullshit. The bottom line here is that there was this investigation, they even admitted the investigation was fucked. And they also always bring it back to Turtle Boy. I give it about 60 seconds before this gets reverted back to Turtle Boy. And this is live, so I haven't watched this yet.
that the body gets dumped in the woods and it's not found for 9 months
Right.
because that
I'm
wasn't
working on-
secure the whole time. Is that down
I'm
the
working on
drain
a
can't
case.
solve it?
this was a fluid investigation, right? I'm working on a case, Jamie Robertson. He was found 2 years later, right? John Fanning was the lead, all right? Apples and oranges. This was supposed to be a fluid investigation, right? This is the murder of a Boston, this is the death investigation of a Boston cop.
Maybe not 60
Suspicious,
seconds.
right? We don't know this. We know that evidence could be in the car. They didn't take the car. Yuri's saying at 10:20, We're looking at it as a domestic assault and battery with a glass. Get that car. Yuri goes, Lanka, got that freaking place up in One Meadows. Get it before she goes. Let's get the car. We got to take it now. There could be pieces of glass, blood, whatever. That was it. Working theory at 10:20. I got the document. It was played. It was put on the stand in the trial. Industry standards down the drain. Why? I know
Okay.
why. I know why.
Right. We all know why.
Why do you think?
We all know
They didn't
why.
have the story. They didn't have the evidence. Had they got that car, and it showed what
Okay.
Jen said. Jay, listen, those are not my words. She said it was cracked. Kerry Roberts said it was cracked. Karen Reed said it was cracked. Officer Barrows said it was cracked. Right? We got the final product, the big gaping hole. Right? The
Mhm.
big gaping hole. No LEDs. I'm telling you, I broke one down here. Double barrel.
The big gaping hole is hosting the show you're on, dude.
One
No, I
outside.
get you, Sean. But I mean, like, where are you taking this to?
I'm taking it right
Like,
now. When I'm taking it right now, I'm telling
Yeah.
this can't be a
It's-
surprise.
He's
I'm a
explaining
legend.
why
There was a
your
cover-up.
stance on this
And I
is
can prove, I
bullshit.
can prove by
Okay.
my own independent investigation, right? that I
Now
did-
let's just say, for argument's sake, I concede, okay, I don't believe in all aspects. This was a complete fuck up and whatnot. But let's just, for argument's sake, let's concede the
Right.
entire investigation, this and securing the scene was the worst in history. Okay.
Right.
At the end of the line that you're chasing here, who are we pointing the finger at as who caused the death?
Okay.
Not the cover up. Like, take that apart. Like,
Right.
put that on hold. Okay. Like, let's
Hey.
just say I believe the cover up happened. Who did it then?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
That was the cops. That was Yuri and Proctor. But see,
Right.
no, stay away. Kisses and drinks. I got a great T-shirt. Kisses and drinks. How many times it was kissed? How many drinks were taken? But stay the hell away from 34 feet.
Well, for Karen, it was 9 drinks, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
like I'm just so
Was
I
it,
mean
though?
I've seen evidence that Karen killed him. You know, I mean,
Right.
What
Right,
evidence? Ask her, Sean.
I have
What
seen
evidence?
evidence that Karen Reed killed John O'Keefe. As far
What
as,
evidence?
You know, I have not seen actual evidence that anybody else has. So
That's
that
true.
kind of
Well, the
leaves me-
telemetrics in her vehicle alone makes me wonder how would you explain
Hmm.
that?
I mean, the famous key cycles that were
No,
misinterpreted.
no. The acceleration and sudden
Exactly.
stop
right.
I think that
in
happened.
reverse.
I think that happened outside Dighton with those wheels spinning. We can all talk about this.
But what
Listen,
about
doesn't matter.
the strike
Okay.
that it registered? Sort of where the acceleration is still
What strike that was
75%. There's a
registered?
like 5 mile an hour
Right.
decrease in speed. A
That's like
jerk
foot
of
to
the
the
wheel and
floor.
it just keeps going.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you?
I get it. Get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So,
I get
you
it.
know.
Get it. Hey,
Well, I mean,
When
the
you-
suspension of disbelief, though, Sean, like, because when it comes down to, let's just take, I'm not going to put this on you. Let's take this from Aiden's page. Okay. So this isn't your
Okay.
words. I'm not using your words.
I know.
So 90
Is
seconds.
it like
Sorry.
for instance, okay, and I'll admit my bias right up front. you
So
know.
90 seconds. Excuse me.
I don't know Jen McCabe like I don't know her extremely well, but I think I know her well enough to say that I'm not a complete moron. I get a pretty good read on people, and to believe that she is a supervillain is the silliest thing in the world. Now I'll just
I mean, listen, nobody's calling her a supervillain, dude. And it's just hard to take this guy seriously because he's I know Jen McCabe. I mean, I kind of know her, but to say that she's a supervillain, is crazy, man. Listen, dude, she's a liar. Nobody's saying she's a supervillain. We're saying she's a fucking liar. We're saying that she knows more than what she's saying. Nobody's fucking making her out to have superpowers. Nobody's even making her out to be successful at being manipulative. Like, look at the only people that she's manipulated and done so successfully are idiots, dummies. Like, nobody here thinks that Jen McCabe is super smart, bro. Like, nobody here thinks of her as Lex Luthor. Like, she's just an asshole. That's it.
I'll just put this out there, okay? I didn't grow up with the craziest backstory, but I've bumped into some people like you, Sean. I'm sure you've met more than I have. Some people that give you pause where you're like, they don't got a soul. These are some evil people. Like you
Yeah,
can smell it on them, right? It's like a pheromone,
exactly.
I've only spoken to this lady, but I think enough that I can confidently say if that was the case, that she was this evil villainess, my mind would be forever blown.
Right.
So the suspension of disbelief when it comes into the conspiracy that starts to point to this family.
I mean, all that does, all this guy did was confirm to me that Jed McCabe has a hand in everything that's happening with Turtle Boy. That's all I'm convinced of at this point. Now I know for sure. Like, it's not proof, but if this guy's talking to Jen McCabe, then it would be foolish and beyond naive. It would be absolutely foolish. It would be just plain fucking stupid. It would be willfully ignorant. It would be retarded to not assume that he talked to her through Kate Peter. I mean, let's just get real here.
It becomes not only improbable, but impossible in my experience and in my mind from my
Right.
dealings. Okay.
Gotcha.
Now, uh, when it, so when you're talking about a conspiracy and a cover up that
And
involves
somebody who's buddies with someone like Kate Peter, seeing the kind of things that we're aware that she is, that tells me all I need to know about Jen McCabe. You know what it does? It makes me think that much more that she did that 227 search. The fact that she aligns herself with someone like Kate Peter tells me, yeah, that it's probably likely that she would do some shit like that. I mean, Kate Peter's the most disgusting individual out of everybody in this whole thing. She's the one with all of the evidence against her. She's the one who builds a case against herself daily on Twitter with her shitty tweets. So the fact that Jen McCabe aligns herself with this person tells me all I need to know about her personality and her character. This is not an innocent victim who's just like, I just want peace and I want to be left alone. Anybody who aligns himself with somebody like Kate Peter, who feeds off of turmoil, feeds on it. She just like fucking sucks in negative energy and it empowers her. Someone like that, someone who finds a connection with someone like that in times like these, that tells me what I need to know about Jen McCabe.
involves so many state agencies and actors therein, and
Sure.
then to point the finger at the family and to blanket statement call them killers, which is one of the worst things you can call a human being. We'd agree is a killer, or somebody that's maybe or harmed a child would probably be also one of the worst things
Right.
you could say, right?
Right.
To throw that around and
She did absolutely nothing to help John O'Keefe. She saw him laying in the snow. She called 911 because Karen Reed was trying to revive him. But she did nothing. She Googled how long to die in cold at 2:27 a.m. Then she goes around town with Karen Reed pretending to look for John. They end up back at 34 Fairview where John is laying in the lawn. Nobody saw him laying there. She calls up 911, says that there's a guy laying in the snow, a guy passed out in the snow, is what she says. A guy who she claimed was her friend, a guy who she testified in open court was her friend. Said a guy passed out in the snow. And then jumped to the conclusion saying that he was deceased. I think he's deceased. If you were trying to save his life, that wouldn't even enter your mind. Jen McCabe is a shitty person. I heard a recording of someone being as shitty as somebody could get in that situation. That's I heard a recording of it. I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I heard a fucking recording of it. So
And to throw it around at people who are they're normal people, Sean, you know, and like
Yes.
no, they're not.
so
Mm.
it makes me wonder, like, okay, in this conspiracy theory, who is believable?
Oh, I forgot to tell the rest of the story. She then called her sister, who was inside the house that she was in the driveway of, and then lied about talking to her when she did talk to her, because we heard a recording. Because John's ghost, I don't believe in coincidence, folks. I do not subscribe to coincidence. I believe that John O'Keefe absolutely had something to do with his voicemail recording Jen McCabe making that 911 call and speaking to her sister directly after that 911 call. That cannot be an accident. I believe in a God. I have a good relationship with God. And that relationship dictates to me that that cannot be an accident. And she said he'd been there maybe a couple hours, maybe, right? Didn't she say that on the recording? She didn't go and knock on the door. She didn't say, hey, get your ass out here. One of you guys know CPR. I know Brian does. Get your ass up out of bed and come out here. You've got a cop laying in your lawn, dying. That's what any halfway decent person would do.
The villain. It's
Okay.
you know.
I mean, that's the
don't
thing is,
feel-
why do we have to like? I
Yeah.
mean, I think that when this first came out, her lawyer, you know, characterized it as a tragic accident. I don't know that we have to cast a villain in the murder.
Right.
Now, I'm sure that his family feels a little bit differently now, but this was their first impression, was that she had just made a terrible mistake, and there was no hatred or real anger in their hearts until all this extra stuff
Yeah.
happened.
Until
Right?
the hero story.
Right.
See, this is her trying to be manipulative and failing.
Hero
Right.
took the plate.
We
Steve,
don't have to cast a villain here, dude. Like, go back to all your tweets. What are you
Scanlon.
talking about?
It's Dean Scanlon.
But you've heard Steve Scanlon. I would like you've heard.
Like, this lady is killing me.
You're lying. And you're a piece of shit.
Heard the call.
Absolutely.
Everybody's heard the call.
I'm
right?
assuming
I
you've
know.
heard the call, Sean.
Have you heard the call, Sean?
I purposely
Oh,
not. I did
Well,
not.
Okay.
you
I
should
think you
hear
should.
the call. You should hear
Honestly.
it because Steve
Yeah.
Scanlon denies
They-
all of it. His
they-
own voice.
Did they get the call
Yeah.
when he called Yannetti? Is that the call you're talking about? Did they get that?
No, his call with
No.
Aiden. So
Oh,
Aiden Carney.
right.
He recorded the whole thing. Sean has no knowledge of this. Sean has
Oh, hell no.
denied it. Sean,
Yeah.
not Sean. I'm sorry. Steve has
Steve.
denied it. Steve has threatened to sue people that want to reprint this. He doesn't. He denies knowing any. He didn't even know who Colin Albert was.
Sean, I would love you to hear the clip. No,
Oh.
I would love you to hear it because I would like to hear your professional take on it. And where he's saying, like, who's calling? Like, it's damning, man. It's it to me, it smacks as somebody who wants attention. And I'll put this out there too. And I'm sure you've noticed this from your vantage point, that there's a lot of characters that are inserting themselves into this for attention.
Yeah, they're
Right, on all, it's just everywhere, right? That's what people do.
Right.
They see cameras, they hear, oh, a platform will, people will hear my words. Attention, belonging. I mean, I think that's half of
I'm being accused of that.
right.
I mean,
Okay.
Hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
Fog of War, Jen. Right? Think about this. Fog of War. You know what it is when you're smart.
I know what it is.
Fog
I
of
know what it is.
War, Jen, or who else, right? Is different from 3 years down the road on the stand, Jen. The fog of war. But the problem is this: have we really let's be honest here, because one of those witnesses that should have been called, I think, wasn't, and that was the FBI team that I guess it was said, right, by Yannetti in the famous, pre-trials, that the FBI agents have discovered that in fact 220. So now, are we sure? Are we really sure? Because I want to give Jen an out here.
There's no out. I mean, I'll tell you at this
No,
point,
yeah.
Celebrate has now updated their software. They've put out what's called a white note. I'm sure you know what a white note is. So-
Listen, I'm a bag and tag 'em guy. I'm not that shit. That's fine. I'm a bag and tag 'em.
They have now put out a industry statement.
Standards.
And they have said that this is a mistake. What pulled that data from Jen McCabe's phone, because it's not just her case this affected. There was another one out of the country,
Right.
but this misinterpretation was a mistake with their software. They fixed it. It's not like, I mean,
Oh
that's
my
a dead
God, I
issue
don't
as far
care.
as I'm concerned. The
But are we
227.
really sure? Are we really sure?
I mean, I don't know
I'm
who you would
confident,
ask
Sean, yeah,
beyond
personally, yes.
Celebrate. Like, I mean, that's
Well,
literally
the
the. I mean, this is their one of their software engineers here
okay.
saying this.
I
Yeah.
hope Hank Brennan, if he's got the goods, that he powers down.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is right now, Hank Brennan's not stupid by any stretch of the
Not even a
imagination.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Not even.
agree.
Right? Give the kid,
I agree.
the guy, right?
Mm.
He's 67. You can call everyone a kid. I still call kids kids.
Yeah.
Hank Brennan, by no stretch of the imagination, he's no dummy, right? But I gotta kind of think he's looking at Lally. He said, "What the fuck am I in? Whoa! All right, Lally, you get your investigation. Now I'm blessed. I got the anointment. I got the blessing because I can now look at the 3,074. I can only imagine you put this fucking case on knowing all this. And here's the thing: you really doubled down on Karen saying June of 2022. Now we know by some of those things and Natalie's things that March, long before Aiden was even a blip, he was doing Ratchet Madness. You probably, I don't know, were you on his team then? I don't know. She
No,
says,
I was gone by 2020. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. She said,
Yeah, it's stupid.
March of 2020, we knew who killed John. We knew how they did it and how they're framing me. That's 2022.
Okay.
We know in June of 2022. Now, I don't know how they arrested her. I don't know if she had a couple of cocktails or whatever. She's probably pissed. But I can tell you right now, she confidently said, "Hey, Yuri, yeah, you."
How do you not know the circumstances in which Karen Reed was arrested? Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about exactly? What?
Are you in the joke? Are we in the joke on this? The whole thing. I don't want to go over the whole thing, right? Here's the bottom line.
But the problem with that, Sean, is that your source always goes back to what Karen says.
No,
Karen
I'm-
says,
I'm
Karen says.
talking
But
about
this is Karen says that in
I'm
June of
talking about-
2022, they
I'm
knew
talking
who
about-
did it and
All right.
how she was framed.
She-
Why didn't that come out in
Defendant.
court?
So did she convince herself that much on that Yuri had to take it down? So don't say anything. You're under
She's the most credible person in the whole fucking case.
arrest. No, don't say that. All right.
He was preserving, because again, that's another version of in theory, objectively, without all this extra noise, if you have a defendant that's changing their story a bunch, it's not great for the defendant
That's
either.
another
So
bad look.
he was
yeah.
telling her, as he should, like, you might not want to talk without your lawyer. Some cops would
Absolutely.
just let her talk. If I was a cop, I would probably just let her talk for whatever. And I don't know Yuri, but I've had a couple
Girl.
interactions with him, and he is
Girl.
very much by the book. So
Yes. I give him that, but hold on.
See, it never occurs to these dummies that the reason why he was telling her you probably shouldn't talk without your lawyer, he wasn't doing it out of kindness. It's because he was afraid of what he was hearing. It's because he didn't want to face the fact that she knew what was actually happening. He didn't want to face the idea that she was going to fight back. And it scared the shit out of him. You better be careful about what you say. That kind of shit. If she was guilty, then yes, he would absolutely want her to keep talking. Of course. She can't be the stupid. She is the stupid.
What I'm trying to say is, right? Why the hell did Lally double down on that? There was no way to win that one. No way. He doubled down. Let's face it. He thought it was something else. Remember the pre-trial hearing? He thought
Double
it was
down on what?
Yeah, I'm not following.
Sorry.
okay. So before he played for the judge, right? This video, right? He made a statement, said, and we now have the defendant
Does it
saying, right, that she saw these guys hit John head over the thing, right? Well, it was
I
also
remember.
right. You remember?
Yep.
Everyone's
I
all
do
about
now. Yep.
that.
Yep.
This
Yep.
is crazy. Jesus Christ. He doubled, he tripled down. He brought it into, so he didn't do the video. He did the audio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why?
I don't know.
That's a good
know.
question. All right. One more thing.
Sure.
Kerry Roberts. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Kate,
Sure.
who had the Blizzard party?
What do you mean the Blizzard party?
I don't know. I'm asking you, who had the Blizzard party that night? All right, we're going to go back to Kerry Roberts and Sean Good. Stuttering Sean.
What?
She makes that phone call. Now, allegedly, she talked to Karen. Right?
No,
So-
Karen called her. So
Right,
Karen,
right. Oh, here we go. We
it's
got the
it's
wrong
not,
one.
but it's not
I do
alleged
that.
because Karen admits this, and there's phone
Yeah,
records,
I'm going
and Carrie
somewhere.
testified to it.
I'm going somewhere. Yeah,
Okay.
going somewhere. Did we see in any report, grand jury, police reports, that there was a Blizzard party that night? No,
No.
going somewhere here. Listen to me.
Okay.
All right. So during the conversation with Stuttering Sean, I feel bad. Listen, I shouldn't be that way. Sean, I'm sorry. I'm
He's
sorry.
probably not watching, but I'm sure he accepts your
He
apology.
probably is. Let me tell you something. You shouldn't be. This is
Jesus
like
fucking Christ,
this
come
is
on.
Like Geraldo's thing at Al Capone's fucking.
Oh no, not the.
It's on tape where? Who has that?
It was her call right to him. It was played. The Blizzard party. Kerry, I know you're watching. Gotcha. I got you here. Just tell me what the hell? Who told you about a Blizzard party? We know it was an impromptu. It was like nightcap. I've done a million nightcaps. I didn't.
So
ever want the
I
album.
don't remember her saying anything
Okay.
on the phone
Yeah,
about
it's not
Yeah.
familiar to
Blizzard
me
party,
either. Sorry,
no.
Sean.
I know
Yeah.
it was an oversight.
Okay.
It was an oversight. All right, I'll send it to you. Kerry
Okay.
knows. Listen, Kerry, you know.
Are
Blizzard
you
party.
what are you accusing? I mean, I don't really. So I mean,
That's what I want to know.
Karen had told them at this point that, where she had gone and that she dropped
I never
John
heard the
off.
word
And
Blizzard party. I never heard it categorized ever as a Blizzard party. Ever.
what is what? So I mean, I guess there were people at the house and there was an impending blizzard. I suppose that you
yeah.
could
You know, there was
call
an
that
app.
a blizzard party.
You had Brian Jr.'s birthday. Actually,
Right.
it was a birthday party. What? Come on.
Well, I think that probably that information didn't make it to Karen. Just that there was a group of people. I doubt that I'm not Karen, I'm sorry, Carrie. I doubt that Carrie was going into detail about it being Brian Jr.'s birthday party. And Carrie Roberts didn't know the Alberts or the McCabe's or any of these people. So
Right.
she wouldn't have that
Right.
information that it was
Understand.
Brian
Don't-
Jr.'s birthday
and-
party.
I think it's strange that nowhere, anywhere is it mentioned in any report again a Blizzard party. But yet, on
Why
that-
though? What pertinence?
don't
I
does
know.
can't
it
see
have?
the
That's scary.
significance myself,
Yeah.
honestly. But I mean,
Okay, all right.
I'm open to opining on all sorts of things, Sean.
I
Trust me,
mean-
I don't know if you know Carrie. I don't know. Maybe you should ask
I
him.
do.
me, no, I
Right.
don't.
I mean, I've heard Carrie's story personally on the stand. I mean, it's I mean,
No,
Carrie
she's
was bulletproof enough that they didn't even bother to cross-examine
didn't.
her.
Really,
Right.
no, they didn't.
But here's the
It's not that she was bulletproof, it's that she was useless.
thing. It exists and it's been exploited. Right. I'll send it to you. And a good friend of
Okay.
mine said, "Did you see this, Sean? Did you hear it?" I go, "No." Listen, I said, "Holy shit. What's the Blizzard party about?" Now, listen, I'll tell you where I'm going with this. Hypothetically, that maybe there was some before things going on. Right. Listen, hypothetically, I'm not putting shade on Kerry.
That's a huge leap. Though.
I'm
I
saying
mean, that's
hypothetically, I'd say, listen.
but
the
that's I mean, there has to even hypotheticals are not how I mean, they're not fair. Hypothetically, you just did a bunch of heroin before the stream. Like, do you see how unfair that is? No, that's
Right.
unfair. That's
No,
not. I wouldn't.
yeah.
I'm not saying that. That was an example
No, no.
because that would be unfair
And,
to you.
and again, and not to jump
I don't know, man. That dude in the middle, that might be fair.
on you here, Sean, but
Okay.
I would say that these kind of hypotheticals,
Right.
I'd be more comfortable with these kind of loose hypotheticals if we weren't putting it out
No.
into the media, because, and I'll tie it up with this, because and maybe you would agree, maybe you wouldn't, but there seems to be a large enough group of people out there, okay, and I won't pin it to a side, that act on hypotheticals and they do negative things to other people, right? So I kind of get where Kay's coming from this. I get that you're trying to walk out an idea, and I understand that, but I think, like,
Question. I
it's,
have a
I
question.
hate using this word. I'm not trying to sound smart and shit, but it's kind of incumbent upon us, for lack of a better word, to be responsible, to be careful with our hypotheticals
Right.
when
But
we're in that, we're in this, in this,
Right. Right.
you know,
You
I
guys
mean-
mean Fog of Warriors, right?
I do. Yeah,
Right.
I do.
So you add some booze to it, right? Now it gets a little.
That earlier on, and now that you're not playing certain games, like, you've come out and you've said, like, look, I don't back up harassment of folks. Okay, you've said
I know.
that, so that kind of right, and that kind of goes against the grain with how they operate, right? Because we've seen it.
You think that if someone came out of my house with my wife at home, right? 200 people, you think I wouldn't
Right.
come out and fucking annihilate someone? Absolutely.
Exactly.
You don't do that.
And maybe for the simple reason that you have come out and said, that's not, like, as you put it, right, that's not my bag, that's not how I roll. Okay, that makes you less useful to them, because you're not playing ball, right? You're not as controllable, and if you're not controllable, then how do we burn you?
What?
That
Well,
might be one way.
Hey, boom,
You know,
that's not bad. And I'll tell you, right? I said this to Aiden, I said this to Karen. Why in the name of God, knowing what Natalie had, her role that she played, why would you kick her to the curb? Right? My whole thing up until, I don't know, August was keeping her on ice. Yes, Natalie, please, you're fine. Try to keep this thing from blowing up.
Dude, they kicked her to the curb because she was getting weird. She was weirding Karen out. That's why. And she was obsessed with the high profile aspect of the case. And she was looking to leech off of the notoriety that Turtle Boy was getting from covering the case. She was dead weight. Like, I don't understand what's so hard to understand about that.
And
What do
then
you
I'll-
mean by this thing from blowing up?
Okay, so her whole thing was this: Sean, please talk to Karen. I said, I don't talk to Karen. Lie. But what am I gonna say? I'm not gonna say, all right, Natalie. I said, I need to keep her on ice, all right? Because she said, oh, Karen got mad at me and Aiden got mad at me. Fine. I said, Natalie, calm down. And then she went to the Rockos. The whole story's there. You've talked to her, Kate. I know you have. I don't have any problems with that, right? The thing is, here we go again. Boomer, you said it, right? They know what I know.
Mhm.
And now they're kicking the shit. I see that kid hasn't learned yet. Now they're kicking the shit. And listen, I'm not here because of him. I'm here because of me. I'm not running scared. And guess
Right.
what? Okay, you have enough respect for me. I have enough respect for you. I don't give a shit. All this stuff.
Here's
Okay.
my thing. I'm still waiting to fucking hear what Sean's actual gripe is with Turtle Boy. Am I fucking crazy? All I've heard so far is that he was pissed off that Karen didn't send him an emoji for condolences because his brother passed. That's all I'm hearing. What did Turtle Boy do to Sean to hurt his Fifi so bad? What the fuck is going on here? What is this about? We know you're here because of you. We know you're not here because of Turtle Boy. We know Turtle Boy didn't do anything. What did he make you so upset about? And the truth is I don't even really care because it's very personal, but he's making it very public. He just decided to just jump out all over the internet and start being like, Aiden, blah, 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 you're done, blah, blah, blah. And then like, okay, well, why? At no point have I heard him bring some sort of case as to why Turtle Boy is for some reason not the Turtle Boy that we should be praising as much as we are. Like, because if it's the whole Lindsay thing, I don't feel bad for Lindsay. I saw evidence that dictates that A, she colluded with others to set him up, and B, that she's an insane person. Like, I listened to a recording of her threatened to pack her 4 children in her car, drive over to Aiden's house, sit in his driveway, and perform an abortion in front of her own children. I heard a recording of her threatened to do this. I didn't hear Turtle Boy. I didn't read it in a Turtle Boy article. I heard a fucking recording of her doing this. I'm trying to understand. Like, you have 3 Betero letters so far that claim that there's proof that this woman was used by Kate Peter and by Tully and by Ken Mello to set Turtle Boy up. I don't feel sorry for this person. I don't feel sorry for her at all. So what's going on here? Did he start talking to her? What's going on here?
Kate had been very, very, let's put it like this, a good adversary, right, against me, which is fine. And
No, I mean, it's not money. People saying that he's looking for money, he's trying to get money. He's pissing his money away as we speak. His money's gone. I'm not saying that he doesn't have any. I'm not saying, I don't know. I'm saying, but his means of making money on YouTube, down the crapper. You think anybody's going to log on to his channel now and start sending him fucking super chats like they were a week ago? After this? Fuck no. So the idea that he's doing this for money is ridiculous. That's no way. Like, he's done. You're done.
And listen, I get it. I deserved it. All right. I'm not here
Wow.
because no, I did. Listen, I did. I'm not here, right, to jump ship. I'm not. Unless, Kate, you and the
You are jumping ship.
the people, the person
You don't get to
known
do
as-
that,
only known
Sean.
as the
You don't get to do that, Sean. You don't get to put that shit on us. Okay? You're the one who jumped ship. And I explained why earlier. A woman's life is on the line right now. Okay? And the only thing that she has behind her, the only thing that she has as leverage are voters in Massachusetts and their support. Not that they would vote for her. That's not what I mean. I mean, the fact that she has the public on her side is the only thing that scares the people that she's fighting, the system that she's fighting. It's the only weapon that she has to defend herself with. The truth and the people is all she's got. The truth and the people is all that she's got. And you're trying to discredit her, and you're putting people in an unfair position to where you feel like they should all of a sudden side with you over your little fucking gripe with her because she didn't send you a condolence emoji. She's fighting for her fucking life, dude. What fucking planet are you on, dude? We're over here. Where are you going?
The witch doctor Jules can lay it out for me. I'll jump, but I can't jump because I know in my heart, everything in my fiber, that she's 1,000,000% innocent. Now, if that rubs people the wrong way, fine. All the mofos out there that say, "Oh, Sean's running and cut." Elise, listen, God forbid I have Elise on speed dial. God forbid I was friends with her when she
nobody is
and did.
nobody. No, dude. Nobody gives a shit that you're turning your back on Karen Reed. Yeah, it sucks if you are. That's not the point. You're turning your back on her support, Sean. That's the issue here. You're turning your back on the support for her, which is all she's got. That's why people are pissed off. That's why there's 188 watching over there and 2,500 watching over here. 5,000 if you count Twitter. That's why.
Rushed to Stoughton District Court to cover Aiden's arrest. God forbid I would ever talk to that woman, right? You know what I'm saying? Here I'm saying, Kate, I'm being facetious here. This is what they do, and you're right, Boomer. Why would she do that, knowing what she gave me, like that text saying he's a liability?
Mm-hmm.
He blew me up. That phone.
So that's your play here is to use Karen's text saying that Turtle Boy is a liability to try to turn people against Turtle Boy. Karen turned her back on Turtle Boy, so why shouldn't everybody else? That's some fucking grassy shit, dude. It's some really low, snaky, grassy shit, man. That's it. I gotta call it as I see it. It just is. Because here's the thing about that. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I think I look at Turtle Boy as a source for information. And I like Turtle Boy, don't get me wrong. I get along with Turtle Boy. But again, we're not fucking babysitting each other's kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get along great. But the problem with this is it's not about him to this point. It's not about him to the point that you're making it. Because it affects me. The relationship that I have with Turtle Boy, I'm very secure in. And it's so simple that if I see that Karen Reed sent a text saying that Turtle Boy's a liability, that means shit to me. It doesn't change my opinion of Karen, and it doesn't change my opinion of Turtle Boy. It shows that that is how she felt at that very moment about Turtle Boy and however he conducts himself and however he puts out the information. That means that he might be burning a bridge with her as a source. That's none of my business. I'm not here to tell Turtle Boy how to do his fucking job. That's beyond the boundaries that Turtle Boy and I have. That goes well beyond those boundaries. I have healthy boundaries that I have between myself and other people on YouTube. I'm not going to tell Turtle Boy how to do his job. I'm simply going to be grateful every time there's new information that he provides. Period. That's it. Keeps my fifis nice and safe and cozy. I don't know why Sean, a grown ass man, can't do this himself. Who cares if Karen Reed said that she thinks that Turtle Boy's a liability? I don't. I don't fucking care. I mean, what does he think the rest of the world is going to do with that information? Other than just see through his motives for putting it out there. Right, exactly. Turtle Boy also does not care. Because if that text took place at that point, how much information has Turtle Boy still provided since then? That's not my business who Turtle Boy has as a source and who he doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of were what? I don't know what that means. I forgot what I just said that was a response to. I don't understand why he thinks that this is. No, he's not playing her. Like, because if he is, he's doing it in the stupidest fucking way that anybody could. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, Turtle Boy's always welcome up here if he wants to go up. The only reason I actually thought of inviting him prior to doing this, I just didn't, because I knew I was going to be streaming Krusty Panty's stream here, and I don't know if that would affect his case with her or not. So I didn't want to put him in that position. But if he wants to come up here, he's always welcome. Always welcome. He knows that. Let's see. I obviously brought a lot to the table, and the good outweighed the bad, but they really want to lie or tie me to her. Right. I mean, right. Like let's not forget what this is, folks. Turtle Boy is a journalist. Turtle Boy has been reporting the Karen Reed, John O'Keefe investigation and details of it as he uncovers them. He investigates, he uncovers, he reports. That's it. He has sources that allow him to do that. He has sources that provide him with information. At the end of the day, to Turtle Boy, that is what Karen Reed is. And I'm not trying to speak for him here, but at the end of the day, that's all we need to be concerned about as far as what they are together, is she is a source of information to a journalist who we depend on for information. Period. That's it. Nothing else. Karen Reed is not obligated to have relationships with anyone here. She's not obligated to send you condolences when someone passes that you're close to. She's not obligated to go beyond the existing boundary between her and the public. She's not obligated to do any of these things. And it makes you kind of fucking weird to expect her to.
Had 2 years of everything on it. Right. I can't risk. I don't know what the hell thing says.
I know what you're saying, but again, too, I would throw that back at you, right? It's like that move of her saying that, like, oh, I had all this shit, and then that, and you know, dude brought heat to me, right? Blew up my shit. Again, like in my personal experience, when I hear that turn of phrase, when I hear that language, I think criminal, because it sounds like criminals. The way they speak, Christ, I've heard a few of them speak, and they speak like that. You brought heat to my
just the fact that he's entertaining a conversation with these fucking morons.
Front door. You blew up my shit. You got my phone taken. You know what I mean? This is an angry criminal. Now, I'm not saying that's her now, but that's what it sounds like.
She's right. She wasn't lying. She was right. Bill Reed was right what he did. What changed? Why did Nicky get demoted? Why did Nicky Rocco get demoted? He was. I
don't know.
I can explain exactly what changed, and you know too. Aiden got upset at being iced out. So he threatened.
Dude, you know what it's like seeing Sean do this shit, dude? You know what it's like? It's like fucking finding, it's like somebody capturing with their cell phone video footage of, you know, fucking Conor McGregor fucking ready to scrap somebody and then goes, oh, hold on, I don't want to break a nail, you know, and then you see that and go, wait, what the fuck is going on here? That's what this is like. Like all of a sudden, this fucking tough, experienced DEA guy had his fucking feelings hurt, dude. And is fucking kamikazeing his whole goddamn YouTube channel into a mountain. Like that's what it feels like. Over feelings. Fucking feelings, dude. Like after this, if I hear him go, you mofos are done, the balls are missing from it. The balls are gone. There's no more balls hanging off of that anymore. It sucks. It's disappointing as fuck.
He threatened to turn Karen into the police, right? And she
so
capitulated to that. So from my perspective, you usually don't threaten to turn someone into the police who isn't actually engaged in conspiracy with you in that case. And certainly if
Right.
someone threatens that, you don't freak out and capitulate to them unless you're trying to stop them from going to the police for
Right.
something
We're-
legitimate.
We're,
But
we're
I'm gonna-
back to cheaper to keeper,
I'm
Sean.
gonna, I'm gonna,
You know?
you gotta go. I'm gonna go appeal to Brian Albert and Kyle Dougal and any other cop out there, right? You don't fuck around with the person that can do you the worst, right? Right.
True.
Every cop knows, right? You got a loose cannon out there. Keep him safe. Keep him pacified, right?
Don't
He was
press them.
squawking, right? He was squawking, just like, you know, Natalie. She could be squawking, right? Why haven't they learned their lesson?
Right, but I
I'm-
mean, to be fair, Natalie certainly
No.
did not talk to the police out of anger from
No,
anything
no,
that I know of her or
no.
anything.
No.
It was genuine
Oh
guilt and concern.
no.
And like,
Oh yeah, no, not at all. Not in that interview with Tully did she seem butthurt, and not at all did she spend the whole fucking time talking about stupid Netflix documentaries and shit. No, not at all.
I don't really spend a lot of time in my life worrying about who's going to be like squawking because I'm not committing crimes, with my friends. So
That's
like,
what I'm
it's
saying. Right?
fine,
It comes
right.
back to it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the way of the walk. And I want to sneak this into just because I haven't got to yet, and I feel compelled.
You got it.
I've spoken with Natalie a fair amount myself,
Right.
and I think one way that she's been, I believe, misrepresented in general is attention seeking. That can't be farther from the truth. I don't believe she wants attention, especially, you know what I'm saying, like,
Dude,
and she's
it's like he heard me. It's like he heard me.
she's a sweetheart, man. I really don't think she's clout chasing. I don't see her like that at all.
She was
No,
she was very
no.
nice to me, right?
Yeah.
Very nice. The only
Okay.
thing I went a little off on her, and she'll tell you, right? You know, the group that was formulated, right? I don't know, Coltrane, evidence for John, whatever it was, and they released the hair. Who had that, right? And I said, Natalie, please tell me, right? You didn't do this. She said, Sean, I'm telling you left. I said, okay. So it didn't sit well with me because I knew she went to the Roccos, and Roccos went to Karen, and Karen said, don't ever talk to her again. Right. So with the Roccos, they cut her out. I know that.
Okay.
This thing. Natalie's not the bad person in this. Natalie
No,
was
most definitely not.
Natalie was the person that went from A to B. She was the middle person. I'll take A, I'll give it to B.
I'm trying to
That's it.
understand what the fucking significance of all this is. That's what I'm trying to get at. We moved past the fucking Natalie shit months ago. Why is this coming up now? Why is this? We're about to fucking, dude. Karen Reed just fucking appealed her just stood in front of the fucking SJC in Massachusetts, the highest court in Massachusetts, to appeal the decision in a trial that should have never fucking happened in the first place, that this guy has spent months saying that it never should have happened in the first place. And now, and has another hearing in front of those same judges tomorrow. And we're talking about Natalie. We're talking about fucking Natalie. We're talking about Natalie and Turtle Boy. And we're talking about Natalie and Karen Reed. And we're talking about Turtle Boy and Karen Reed. And now the Roccos come into play. Who gives a fuck? I mean, right. Like, dude, what? And I believe this. I believe this so much because of what I've been listening to here. There was so much. He didn't even know the details in which the circumstances in which Karen Reed was actually placed under arrest. What are you talking about? How long have you been talking about this? Because I understand missing certain details. There are certain details that I'm like, oh shit, I must have missed that. That happens. There's a shit ton of information out there. I forget people's names all the time. I get all that. But dude, the circumstances in which the person was arrested, where you're talking about evidence and you're talking about how the investigation was conducted and how everyone dropped the ball. Who is this Amber person? Man, I don't know. There was somebody, yeah. There was somebody in that. She changed her name, but yeah, he's got a mod or like modding for him that I'm just like, I can't. Like, she's fucking scary, if I'm being totally honest.
But guess what? Now, Boomer, here's the thing. She was on Signal. She kept everything. Everything she kept. Now, listen. I don't think but why keep everything? Was that her?
I don't believe she did keep everything, and that's my take on it. I think she kept some things.
She
Pardon?
gave them all okay.
Yeah.
Everything is fucking kept until you fucking delete it. What do you mean?
Okay, so
like I don't think she was filing everything. Like I'm gonna put folders together. Like that's a certain type of personality.
You know
what I mean?
I say the Natalie files. It's little.
No. I'm not even nodding to that, but I mean, like, I'm actually nodding to another character that does do that, and I think you probably know who I'm talking about now, right? Keeps folders, keeps files on everybody, right? Like that's a different way of walking, right? You know, and I don't. All I'm saying is I don't think that. My read on Natalie is she's not that type of person. I think, and I do believe the reason why she turned over, let's just call it evidence, okay. Right. Is, as Kate said, I do believe this to be genuine, the truth.
Right.
She felt guilty, man. She changed her own mind. It's her thoughts changed. She believed one thing prior, and then one thing after. I don't think it's all reduced down to. No. My point is this:
I can explain to you what I mean. I can't speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Let me shoot you a link, buddy.
For her, but yeah, I can explain to you what changed her mind, and it certainly wasn't being kicked out of the club, because there was a significant gap between when she was kicked out of the club and when I ended up speaking to her.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
Later, but what changed her mind is that she was given access to all of the documentation and information, because Karen tends to push just one half of it. She was able to speak to police. She was able to speak to John's family, John's friends, some of the witnesses, and she was able to get to know people and get information and ask questions. She approached it with an open mind. When I first spoke to her, she absolutely still believed that Karen was innocent, and that's fine. And she knew that something was maybe a little bit funny with Karen giving out information on the witnesses, all that stuff. But she still was like, I don't have anything, I wish her well. And I believe in her innocence. I just can't be involved anymore. What changed her mind was to then, look at the people that had been affected by this, listen to their stories and kind of make their own determination. So she came in with an open mind, and when she was able to speak to the police, was able to ask them questions about things that were kind of nagging at her, or she had some doubt about previously. And that sort of, helped her reconcile in her head and come up with, sort of her own determination about what happened based on, her own questions and the evidence that she was requesting. So, I think that's fair. And I have a lot of respect for her. I think she's a really good, I know she's a really good person. I know she's, just a bad rat.
Like, dude,
You need to shut the fuck up.
what's happening now? What is happening now? What? What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
I don't even know what's happening right now. Like, everybody just went quiet. Oh, this guy's muted. That's why you can't hear him. It's the guy in the middle that's talking. Like,
Oh, Boomer, that guy
Yeah.
is like.
I don't know who that guy is.
These are the kind of miscreants she finds on like Discord. Like she has like no real life friends, so she has to find just random guys named Boomer who like sit in their mom's basement and play games all day, and they like talk like this. Yeah, man. And conveniently, they all just happen to like agree with like everything she says, man. And they say like Kate always wins and everything. And like these are she has to find, like, if I've been in her Discord before, I've seen the faces of these people. These are exactly the kind of people that you would think would look up to someone named Krusty Panties.
I know
That
the type. I know exactly the YouTube type.
Like that
Yeah.
she can just win them over with her new word of the week, by the way, in case you haven't figured it out, is inequitable. She came up with that one a couple months ago at her hearing with Lauren Murray, in which she was ordered to do 30 hours of community service, which, by the way, she's ordered to come back to do another hearing because she never did the community service. And the Polden police last week filed 2 more criminal complaints against her because she won't stop contacting me. She keeps tagging me on Twitter. It's like she wants to go to jail. Like she's like, just fuck, like she thinks she's invincible. So we'll see. But I mean, this tonight with Sean is just, I don't even have to say anything because it speaks for itself. It's just like everybody's seen the real Sean.
I mean, he like I stated before. I mean, he's doing this absolutely to himself, and I'm taking offense to it for the simple reason that it's like I've been advocating for this guy. You know how many times people have been going, yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I something about Sean. I don't, and then I'm like, dude, he's a fucking retired DEA agent. His insight is valuable, give the guy, so I overlook the little things that some people have been kind of right about. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, maybe he's a little too cavalier with information that's not credible, but at the same time, I have enough sense to take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now,
you go ahead.
well, I was going to say, but now this is just like, what I found credible was his character, no matter what, and I'm willing to slide. Okay, well, maybe he has a source and the source is reliable, but sometimes wrong, who knows? I don't know. I'm sure that happens. I'm not a journalist, so I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not going to start shitting on someone's profession and the ins and outs of it without actually knowing. So, but what's going on now is a reflection of his character, and I can't defend that.
Right.
This is why would you think that there's any good reason to go on Krusty Panties channel?
Honestly, man, I've known this is the real Sean for like over a year now, and I've honestly just kept my mouth shut for the sake of unity. I've seen it. Karen's seen it. There's a reason Karen doesn't talk to her anymore. Like, we've seen it. Like, and it started like, honestly,
we see it every day on Twitter.
Yeah, lately we have, but like about a little over a year ago. So I interviewed him on my show in like June, and he was a good guest,
Right.
And then it just immediately went to his head, I guess, because I have all his messages with Natalie, and like within like weeks of going on my show, he was like just gossiping about me with Natalie, and like it was fucking weird. Like they just talked about me all the time, and Turtle thinks he's hot shit and he's the reason, but you're the real reason, Natalie. He like is in love with Natalie. Kind of bizarre. Anyway, like because he builds her up.
Don't you
She's the
just
real.
fucking love that? You get it a lot worse than I do, but like I get those little DMs from people that are like, you should hear what this person's saying about you, and I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
like, you're two chicks
but-
gossiping, like when you read their
Yeah.
messages, and you're like, okay. But then, so there was this Facebook group that he talks about all the time, and you're probably like, what the fuck are you even talking about? There was a Facebook group that was for justice for John and Karen Reed, and it was run by a woman who was like not allowing fundraising in the group. The Roccos wanted to do fundraising, and so I was just like, fuck it, we're starting our own group, and me and the Roccos started our own group where we allowed fundraising, and it became bigger than the other one over time. Anyway, we wanted to get Sean in the group because we're like, Sean was popular at this point with like, you know, ladies of a certain age. And we're trying to get Sean over in this group, and he's like refusing, and he's like bad mouthing the other group. And we're like, Sean, what? And it turns out he just didn't like the Roccos. He also hated them for fucking quite some time. And I'm like, come on, Sean, just come in the other fucking group. Like, and he's like, no, I'm working with 5 guys to solve this mystery of like, he's acting like he was going to solve the mystery of who killed John O'Keefe. And he's like, and I have 5 guys working on it. I'm like, 5 guys, Sean? What are you talking about? 5 guys? There's no 5 guys, Sean. He kept talking about me and the 5 guys. We're going to solve this mystery. And then I'm like, I called him out on it. I go, Sean, I don't think there's any 5 guys. And he goes, the 5 guys are not allowing me to come in this other group. And I'm like, what? 5? You're a grown man, and there's 5 guys telling you can't go in another Facebook group. That doesn't make any sense, Sean.
It doesn't.
And so then,
and it's stupid, especially if you're trying. I don't mean to cut you off, but I got to make this point. Especially if you're if the purpose, the overall existing purpose here is to collect information. That's the purpose of his existence in this whole thing. Why would you not want to be part of that group to where you could collect information and assess it with your 5 sources?
He was the man in the other group. That's the thing. He was like he was addicted to the being the OG. Like, I'm fucking Sean in the Gulf. Like he's conceited, you know, like he's insane. And so eventually, like, I called him out on the 5 guys thing. So he made up one of the 5 guys. And I've got the screenshots still. It's a guy named Eddie Richards started appearing, and Eddie Richards talked exactly like Sean, and it was like it was fucking, and defended Sean to the end of the earth. And he had like, it was just created like a month ago. So I messaged Eddie Richards. I'm like, I go, so Eddie Rich, I go, so who are you? And he goes, retired cop. And I'm like, oh, where from? The Bronx. I still have the screenshots of my conversation with Eddie Richards. I knew it was Sean the whole fucking time. And I'm like, I'm obviously talking to Sean here. There's no 5 guys. He made up one of the 5 guys. So that's when I realized I was dealing with a nut job. So, but I didn't make a big thing out of it because I didn't want to make a big skeptical, because like, it's like telling everyone Santa's not real. You're like, okay, this, and Karen and I would have discussions.
Right. Because if it's good for if it's good for the movement, you know, then you know what I mean? Why shit all over everyone's dreams and why cause problems? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
That's why I saw him as harmless. I'm like, he's funny, he's entertaining. I don't want to tell everyone this guy's just the fuck. And Karen and them would complain that like he would just get in the way. Like he would just constantly call Alan and David and be like, Wanless, the tail light. Did you check this out? Did you check? And like send him down wild goose hunts that would go nowhere. Like he's obsessed with this fucking Traverse and like all this other shit. Like Carl Dougal's in on it and fucking Paul O'Keefe's on it. Come on, dude. Come on. Like, look, we don't need to go there. We got enough fucking factual shit on them that we don't need to do that. You know? It's like, so we don't need this, Sean. And like, so I just humored him and I didn't make a big deal out of it. And then when I got out of jail, you know, I wanted to keep up, you know, a happy relationship with Sean. So I texted him and he wouldn't get back to me. He actually blocked me on all social media. And then like he did this episode once.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't mean to cut you off, but just to reiterate the point, I remember him talking about it and he went off saying that he didn't trust your devices because you were in jail.
Right. And he said, I think he's going to flip. And then he does. And I've saved the rant. It's wild. He just goes, oh, He goes, I know what they're gonna fucking do. They want me. They go, I'm the real deal. I'm the kingpin that they all want. They probably went up to him in jail and they said, give us fucking McDonough. And he actually said this. Yuri and them probably went up to them and said, give us fucking McDonough. It's like, Sean,
Oh,
literally,
come
they
on,
don't know who
man.
you are. They don't
Right.
care. You're just some fucking guy on YouTube who doesn't leave Naples. No, like nobody care. Like none of them care about you. They are much more threatened by the rubber ducky people and the fucking Canton Nine, who they
Right.
actually charged with crimes, than you. Like
Right.
they're not visiting you. They're not taking your phones. They don't care about you. You're not a threat to them. You're literally just a fucking guy they kind of laugh at. And Krusty Panties laughs at. Like she's been mocking him online for quite some time. There's a reason she's having him on and not someone else that can actually debate this. You know, like it's a joke. And you know, I knew the whole time that like this guy is just an old man in Naples who's never been up here, who's never come to a single court date, who's never fucking come to a fundraiser, never shared the popcorn sales, never done anything. And yet he brags about how he's convinced all these fucking women of a certain age that he is like Captain fucking Save-A-Ho, and he's done all this stuff for Karen. He's done literally nothing. And I'm sick of pretending that like it's like I don't know where this manic Monday shit came from last week. Everything was fine. And then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking just attack.
That shit came out of nowhere.
Yep. And
I was like, wait, what? And I was on the phone with somebody and watching the live just in the background. And I was just like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? Then I start getting DM after DM going, people are saying Sean's losing it. Are you watching Sean right now? And I'm just like, dude. And then, of course, I don't jump to conclusions. You know what I mean? I'm like, hold on. Let me wait this out. Let's see where this is going, because I want to show. I have no reason not to show Sean that extent of respect. And sure enough, he just doubled down and then tripled down. And then I'm just like, what the fuck are you? Okay, but where's this going? Okay, so Turtle Boy bad. Why?
And then
I'm still waiting. Why?
About like, oh, he knows about this and that, and he knows about this, and then he's like the shit now. He's just making up. Like I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. About you're threatening to turn Karen Reed in, and what? Like insanity, fucking insanity. All right. First of all, I would never do that in a million years. First of all, I have nothing to give them. I have literally nothing to give them on Karen Reed because she hasn't committed any crimes, and neither have I. She didn't direct any fucking. This is the latest lie he's telling, that she directed the rolling rally. That like Amy DeAngelis, that nut job, is fucking feeding his brain with mush. And that's the other thing. Sean just instinctively believes anything anyone tells him, that without questioning anything. I guarantee
that's what it seems like.
Right.
It's like he'll just take information and run with it.
Right. Like some guy told him Proctor's fired, and he's like, oh, breaking news. And when I saw that, I was at the gym actually, 3:00 in the afternoon. Bettero texts me and he's like, oh, Proctor's fired. I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go check Twitter out, see who's, and then nothing. It's just Sean. And I'm like, oh. Okay.
Right.
But
and then Christina Rex of all people had to debunk it.
Right.
How embarrassing is that?
Yeah. And
you know,
and I'm like, with the week he's had where I've kind of called him out for like not having real stories, I'm like, he wouldn't be so brazen to post something that's not true, right? Like that's like a big thing too. Like he wouldn't be that dumb, would he? And then I'm like, when Christina Rex posts her shit, I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, I had to make a post, and he's like, and his defenders are like, oh, well, you're trying to embarrass him. No, dude, I'm trying to report the truth. This guy's got a big platform. A lot of people believed it. And I just wanted to make it clear that this major character in the story we've been covering hasn't been fired. That matters. Like that, because if we think Proctor's fired, then it's like, oh, fucking problem solved. Like that shit changes everything. The trial changes, my charges change. A lot changes if Proctor's fired. Like we would need to be made aware of that. And it's not. And it's just a fucking game to him. Well, he sits in fucking Naples and does this shit. And then when Christina Rex corrects the record, because she has sources and she calls people and she's not going to fucking post something that's not true, right? what does he do? He doubles down, and he went on this last night, or maybe it was today. He's like, that fucking bitch needs to fucking shut up and get fired. Like, it was horrific what he said about Christina
Oh
Rex.
my God.
What? Oh,
I still haven't even been that rude to Sue O'Connell. Like,
I know.
I still like, I'm like, whoa, like Tom
Yeah.
even went a little hard on her last night, and I was just like, yo, dang, Tom, like, what the fuck, man?
CPU? Yeah.
Yeah, like I said something, I tagged her because Elon posted you are now the media. Like, once that was his tweet, his victory tweet of Trump winning, basically, like, you are now the media.
Yeah.
And I reposted it, you know, like, you hear that, Sue O'Connell, you know, and then I guess Tom was feeling pretty emotional about it, and he added his 2 cents. I was like, whoa, hey.
What did you say in response?
Oh, I don't think she even responded.
Okay.
I don't even think she responded. I just like taunting her because she says nothing. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
she's-
okay, well, I do the same thing you do, except more. So I'm an independent commentator.
Yeah,
That's me.
you know, I'm yeah, you know, I'm holding out hope that she's going somewhere with this, but you know, ultimately,
I hope so too.
Yeah.
I hope so too.
you know,
I
either
mean,
way, she's fucking harmless. You know, like I don't know.
agreed.
And
Yeah,
I really didn't want to come to this with Sean, but he's doing it to himself, man. Like, I'm not doing anything. He's just self-destructing in front of our eyes. And it's sad. I mean, going on Kate's channel, I mean, what's he like? What is I'm not mad about it. It's just I'm embarrassed for him. It's like, bro,
that's where I'm at right now, man.
know,
I'm just
what are you doing?
I hate it. I hate it because I like Sean. I do. You know,
I don't
but
like him anymore. I used to. I don't like him. I don't like him.
I mean, this is, well, it's bad, dude. Yeah,
It's
you
just-
know what I mean. Like,
Let's
it's
not
bad.
forget what this woman has said about Karen Reed and tried to do to Karen Reed. Stopped
Right.
her at her hotel. You know, put me in jail. Like, you're okay with
That's-
that, John? He defended
why it's
fucking
bad.
fake victim tonight about
Yeah.
like, oh, the fucking totally shouldn't have taken her phone. Like, what did it? What? Bro,
He said he also said something to the I played it a couple of times, but he said something to the effect of Karen Reed. If Karen Reed, oh no, I remember what he said. He said if Karen Reed is convicted, then justice is served.
what?
Yeah, like,
Oh.
and I'm like, no, dude. Like, you've
Yeah.
been saying this whole time that everybody trying to convict her is corrupt. If you say that, because even if he meant that in the sense that, okay, well, you know, justice is served because at least there's answers. No, dude, that's completely contradictory to everything that we've all been doing here this entire time.
Right.
What do you mean? You
Yeah.
can't say words like that. I don't
No.
even care if you didn't even mean them in the right context. You can't say words like, if Karen Reed is convicted, then justice was served. But with a mistrial, there's no justice. That's what he said.
Right, you know, and people have asked me that, like, what happens if Karen Reed gets convicted? I'm like, then it's a miscarriage of justice. Simple. Like, it's like, then a horrible thing happened. Like, an innocent woman was convicted. What the fuck do you want me to say? Oh no, she's guilty. You know, no, she's fucking still innocent. Like, it's
Right.
Like, fucking
Yeah.
innocent people get convicted sometimes. Like,
Right.
doesn't
That
change a
means
fucking thing.
that means we fight on.
Yeah.
Like,
And she feels
that's
it.
it.
Like, the fight continues. Exactly.
That's
Then
it.
an innocent person is behind bars, and we fucking don't stop.
Right.
Period. You
Right.
know. Period.
Right.
That sucks, and it's tragedy. Like, it is what it is. But you know, it's just, man, I hate seeing it. It's not. But you know, I'm at the same time, mask is off. He's showing who he truly is now. I hope there's not. I mean, I hope everybody gets it now. You know, because I didn't want to create a whole thing where we have like a divide. I didn't want anything, but he's doing it to himself. He's literally doing it to himself.
And you have a right to defend yourself and speak up in your defense against his whatever he's doing. I don't even know what he's accusing you of. I don't understand what he's doing.
And he came after Brian LTL. We now
Get it.
DLT now for just posting that, you know, reiterating that Proctor is still a trooper, and he's just like started ripping him. Like, bro, what are you doing, man? Why are you so angry? Chill the fuck out. It's not a big deal. You know,
And it's right, and it's really important. Like he doesn't understand. Like it is a big deal if he spreads misinformation.
right?
It's
right.
a big deal if it's him. It's a
Yeah.
big deal. It's a bigger deal if it's him than it's me. Put it that way.
Right.
A
right.
and B, the fact that the thing is this we those of us who are so vocal in spreading the information about Karen Reed's innocence, there's a credibility that we rely on that comes with that. And in order to maintain that credibility, we cannot afford to spread misinformation.
Correct. Right. Because we're trying to
So-
convince people that a bunch of cops framed the murder of
Right.
another cop on some fucking lady in order to cover up for the killers. That's a tough sell. So like that's the hardest thing we have to overcome is like we have to convince people that happened.
And the bare minimum is not to spread misinformation,
Right,
to
right.
differentiate rumors from fact, bring receipts. That's how we build credibility and we get people's attention to go, okay, well,
Right.
wait a minute. I did my own research and this checks out.
yeah,
You know,
like they love Sean. Like they like Kate and them love Sean. They want to make him the face of it. Like when he had those
Right.
nut jobs on Nick Fiorillo and Dan Duquette like 3 or 4 months ago, like they all got content out of that. Like Plevin got play out of that. Like, bro, because it was ridiculous. Like they're just talking
Yeah.
about Soros, and I'm like, oh my god. And it's just like, and then you got all these women who are just like, oh, Sean's great. Yeah, he wouldn't say.
And I
anything
gotta
worse than
defend Sean, dude. I had fucking Furiolo or whatever the fuck his name is call into my show when I opened the phone lines. And I just made a show out of it. I won't show that guy any respect. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
So I just, I played music while he was talking and I blah, blah, blah. Then I hung up on him and then he called back and then did the same thing. And I made a show out of it. It was funny. But it's hard to do that while saying Sean's okay.
Right,
Sean's
right.
okay. And
Right.
it's like, you're putting me in a fucking awkward position where I'm trying to defend you, but you have dickheads like that on your channel.
Right.
And come on.
Right. So we'll see. I mean, I'm just going to keep doing it. Said a lot today when he was on that other channel with some other boomer lady who said I guess she's asked you and me and several others to come on ours and we didn't get back to her. So Sean went on ours, some lady from Wisconsin. And, they were talking.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
like-
Okay.
They're like, doesn't she have? Oh, the woman said, oh, yeah, Karen was in court today at the Supreme Judicial Court, something like that. And Sean's like, she was? It's like, he doesn't even know this shit. Like, this is the important shit, like appealing. And he's not
What we're
interested
here
at all
for.
because he's talking about the NAT files. Oh, the screenshots of, bro, we've seen those a year ago. Like, where have you been? Yes, Natalie was an intermediary. Like, everybody knows that. Did you miss the Tully interview? Like, what?
Yeah. Like I went over the Tully interview when it was released.
Yeah, it was
Like, that
hilarious.
was, how many months ago was that?
Yeah,
Like that, I just made that point before you even came up here. I was like, why are we talking about Natalie right
Yeah.
now?
yeah,
That ship sailed months and months ago. Why are
Yeah.
we even talking about Turtle Boy and Karen?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
There's nothing scandalous about it. Like a
Right.
woman acted as a intermediary for about a month, and then shit got weird because she was like weird, insane, and wanted to be Karen's best friend and like get a tattoo of her on her ass, and that got weird, and so we just started talking directly. Case closed. That's it.
that's it. Right.
Yeah.
And she got butthurt about it. And then
Yeah, and then ran to Kate and just had a bunch of screenshots showing that Karen and I communicated. And
same
that-
thing Lindsay did.
Yeah, and like
mean-
gave me information about, like, oh, the feds are involved and this and that and shit that had already been written about. And it's like,
Right.
oh, see, and Sean's like, oh, he didn't do any work. She's just feeding him information. What do you think any reporter does? They talk to a source and they get information for a story. I can't just make shit up. I'm not Sean. Okay. I have to like talk to people and get actual information and write it down and fucking verify it. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Yeah.
I was sitting there just thinking, like, why is this? Why does he think it's a good idea? And there's an MO here. You know what I'm saying? You have Lindsay who did this. you know, you have Natalie who did this before Lindsay, and now Sean, you're doing the same thing Lindsay and Natalie did, and you're talking them up as you're
Right.
doing,
Right.
which is
Right.
going to Kate Peter.
Right.
Like you're following an MO here, and you're the
Right.
cop.
Right.
Why am I catching this and you're not even catching your own behavior here? What is going on?
Yeah. I haven't even watched any. I've just watched it through yours tonight, bits and pieces. And it's like, it's just painful to listen to. You're like, this is fucking retarded. Like, and, you know, like, have they talked about the Arca guys? Like, that's the only interesting, like, how is he?
I don't even think he brought that up.
Because he's not interested in shit like that. He's always interested in, like, my taillight project and Wanless and this and that. It's like, bro, just talk about the fucking most important shit. Arca guys, the most important shit. Talk about Lucky Lochran. Talk about how nobody saw a body. It's like,
Yeah,
but,
I actually I remember months ago I had a tantrum about the talk of the taillight before the trial. I was like, dude, why is everyone so focused? And I had to like keep giving disclaimers. No disrespect to Sean, but you know, but I'm like, why are people so focused on this fucking taillight when the rest of the entire investigation was completely fucked? Like this taillight means hardly anything and is a drop in the bucket compared to the rest of how this investigation was conducted and why it's a complete and total sham. Like, why is there so much energy on this taillight? It was really weird to me.
I mean, the most important part about the taillight is it wasn't there at 7 o'clock when the Camp Police searched. That's the most important part about the taillight. It wasn't fucking there, you know. So I don't know how the fuck it got there. I don't really care because it wasn't there at 7. So she's not guilty. So shut the fuck up. That's it.
Right. This the Sally Port video, right? You know, but that stuff came out in trial, you know, and we already knew that they fucked up the taillight. Like, you know, like we knew it.
So, but anyway, man, I thought I'd come on just and rant about that for a few minutes, but I've been listening and
I'm glad you did, man. You're always welcome up here. I just didn't reach out to you because I knew that I would be reviewing Kate's stream and I didn't know what that would do with your case or not. You know, I didn't want to put you in an awkward position.
Right.
So that's literally the only reason I didn't shoot you an invite before, because I thought about it actually.
I mean, it's crazy when you think about it, her. It's like, I have a restraining order on this individual. She's being charged with several crimes, including felony witness intimidation against me. And yet every day she wakes up and just her entire life revolves around me. She talks about me. It's playing with fire. And like, you get burnt when you play with fire as much as she does. And it's just wild to see that. I mean, it's scary though, man. People are like, oh, you don't really fear her. Of course I fucking fear her. She's fucking nuts. She's a psychopath. Who knows what this person is capable
She has
of.
no boundaries. She has no limits.
Right. Like the obsession is unhealthy, you know?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, people like that, they're not murderers until they're murderers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's how it happens.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and that's how they get convicted, is because you go back and you track behavior like hers.
Right.
And you show a jury and go, did you or did you not post this, and this? You know, I mean, like, she's crazy and she is dangerous. She is potentially dangerous.
Right.
100%.
Totally, man. And but you know, and I see, I did, like, I saw the question you had, the poll in the chat, and it was like, is he playing her? And I've seen some people play that, like, oh, is he infiltrating her to get information? Dude, it's not the CIA, man. He's not doing that. He's just a chick who's into gossip, and he's mad at me, and so he's going to talk to Kate. That's literally all this is. He has the mentality of a fucking 16-year-old high school girl. Like that. That's it. Like, once people realize that, it all makes sense. I've been dealing with it for like last year. Yeah, I know.
That was my theory.
Yeah.
It's like, anybody who's been watching, like, I talked about this before, and I was like, so far, this seems very personal between him and Turtle Boy, and I alluded, and I made a point. I was like, this is why I keep a certain healthy boundary between me and people that I interact with on YouTube and meet on YouTube. Like, you and me, we're cool. We're not babysitting each other's kids, but if I'm in town, I want to go out we could go out and have drinks. We can
Yeah, of course.
eat. We're going to enjoy each other's company because we get along great. But again, at the same time, we understand that we're serving a purpose here. I serve my purpose, you serve yours, and it's helpful to what we're trying to get done here. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's and there's nothing wrong with that. So when you start to fucking like become best buddies with perfect fucking strangers that you meet on YouTube simply because you have a common interest, things like this happen. And that's and what is going on now? Sean is acting like somebody who is in high school and thought he was friends with somebody. Something happened. He didn't like the way they reacted to or didn't do something. And he took it personally that Karen didn't send him an emoji because of condolences. And then here we are. And then what does he do? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right. So he's going on with the woman who, I forget what she said about my mother after she died, but it's like, I guess he's okay with that. And like the Peggy O'Keefe thing, all of a sudden he's really offended by. He started the show off tonight.
Right.
They started it off by like, she's like, so let's talk about this woman who was harassing Brian Albert. Do you condemn that? And he's like, yeah. Like, so he bent the knee like immediately. And it's like, bro, you have said some heinous shit directly to Brian Albert on your show a million times, and we all loved it, you know. But all of a sudden, this girl in the fucking food court says something to his face, and you're like, I condemn that. Like, fucking sell out,
dude. Yeah, come on,
you know,
dude.
Give me a break.
Like, yeah, this is all just it all just seems like butthurt bullshit.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
Yeah. So. Gay. But long night last night, you know what I mean? The fucking election. So back to business tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. And tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Will do, brother. Keep up the good work.
You too, man. Thank you for everything you do. And I appreciate you joining me, man. I had a great conversation. As always, we always have great conversations.
Of course,
so I'm
brother.
grateful to you for that, man.
Of course. Peace to you,
all right, bud. All right. Bye, guys. Later. All right, man. Fucking Turtle Boy, y'all. How about that? Let me give this man a yes. Well, there you have it, folks. There is no Santa Claus. You know, I mean, there's just no, there's no redemption from this action. I explained exactly why. I mean, what is he's going to hide behind what? That he thought he was going to convince Kate Peter, the person we've all gotten to know over all these months, who will stop at nothing to destroy people. And we're supposed to think that you know better. Sorry, dude. Yeah, it's just not going to fly, man. Anyways, guys. So I am going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I'm sorry that this was difficult, but I'm glad. I feel like it's one of those things you'd rather everyone was going to watch this anyway, right? So I figured you'd rather watch it here than over there. So I thought I'd present that option, and I'm always down for an opportunity to hang out with you guys because I love hanging out with you guys, and I'm just grateful to hang out with you guys. And I'm grateful for all your support. Please take a second and hit the like. I really appreciate it. And all you new subscribers, I saw that I've got some new subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing. I hope you continue to enjoy the channel. This is not the usual content that I do, at least not so much these days, but we will continue tomorrow. I will be covering the SJC hearing. There's another hearing, and I think we're going to hear from Alan Jackson and David Yannetti at that one, where Karen is fighting to have her charges dropped from the first two charges, or sorry, charges 1 and 3, have those dropped because the jury came forward and said that they were unanimous that she was not guilty on those 2 charges. So she is fighting right now to have those charges dropped. And hopefully they order at the very least Marty Weinberg's request and plea to order that the jurors are void yeared, and we find out exactly whether or not these charges were unanimously not guilty. Let's just get to the truth. There's nothing wrong with getting to the truth. And that's all that we ask, is that jurors came forward, they presented an issue, and in the interest of justice, it's vital that we investigate it. In the interest of justice, it's vital that it's investigated. And they get to the bottom of it. So anyways, you guys are absolutely fantastic. I really appreciate all of you. And on a good note, all of you guys being here like this, it speaks volumes about where your minds are, where your hearts are. It speaks volumes. Nobody here has been led astray. Nobody here has been pushed to believe some bullshit narrative. Nobody here has allowed their broken hearts to cause them to act irrationally. And we fight on. It's that simple. Regardless of Karen and her feelings about other people that we interact with, regardless of that, the facts dictate that she's innocent. And if we are all doing this because of our passion for justice, well, then she deserves no less of a defense from us than anyone else. If she's innocent of this crime, she's innocent of this crime. We're not here to judge her on her character. We're here to look at the facts and indicate and whether or not she is being wrongfully accused of a crime, and the facts dictate that she is being wrongfully accused of this crime. And there is a Boston police officer who has yet to get justice, who has yet to have the wheels turning towards justice. And the closest thing to it have been the fight that Karen Reed is fighting, and the fight for her that we are all fighting. That is the closest thing to the wheels of justice moving towards John O'Keefe, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, getting justice. And we've all stayed focused on that. We have not lost focus on that. We're going to continue to focus on that. And it breaks my heart that Sean has found his way off of this moving train, because make no mistake, this is a moving train. Either get on or get the fuck out of the way. You don't get to sit on tracks and cry and stop the train from moving because your feelings were hurt. It's not how it works. So, having said that, guys, you guys are absolutely fantastic. I love you guys so much, seriously. And I'll be live tomorrow. I'm sure Melanie Little will be streaming it tomorrow as well. She's an attorney. She'll be able to provide you guys with legal insight. I'll just be one of you guys reviewing, and so I will leave it up. If you guys choose to watch it over at Melanie Little's, I would encourage that. Not just I would absolutely encourage you to do that and then catch the replay, or vice versa, whatever you prefer to do. But at the very least, if you choose to watch it here, make sure to go over to Melanie Little's channel and give it a like. Please do that. And like I said, I would encourage you to actually listen to what she has to say, because she is an attorney. So anyways, guys, you guys are absolutely fantastic. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.